Here we are. Fuck it. Andrew's here. Matty's not here. I don't know why. What up, Andrew?
What's good, man?
Not much. I'm gonna try to FaceTime Matty right now because I want to see if he can explain for himself to the people what's populating
podcast beef.
Podcast beef. He just couldn't even show up to his show on his channel. I'm trying. He's very busy. This man. He's not gonna pick up the FaceTime. Anyways. Oh. Matty, you're on your show.
What?
You're on your show right now. You know your show you do with me, Powerful Truth Angels? You're on the show.
What show? What's the show?
Powerful Truth Angels. You're on the show. I got a co-host. You've been replaced. It was actually pretty painless and easy and fast.
Who's on this? Wait, I'm driving. What's happening?
You're driving to my house? I have Andrew here in my house. Remember that? Remember we used to do that in the house?
I can't come to the country. The country's on fire. I can't come there.
Everything's fine. The air just looks like fucking Mordor. There's ash raining from the sky. It's 142 degrees. Everything's chill.
Everything's good.
I'm like, me and Mac are driving. We just got some cheeseburgers, and it's cold here. It's 23 degrees.
So you skipped the show so you could eat cheeseburgers with your son. That's fair.
No, I had to work. I had stuff come up. I know that you and Andrew's better than podcast. He's better than all of us together.
I know.
He's better than both angels.
I know.
He's God. So.
Okay, let's not suck his balls too. Just, slow down.
We don't talk about sucking balls because Mac's in the car. So we can't talk about sucking balls.
That's okay. Fair. That makes sense. Well, I just wanted to check in before we do the best show ever heard, and the least watched show ever heard on your channel, right? On Matty.
It's easily the least watched show on my channel, and it's easily the best show on my channel, and that speaks to the fans of my channel.
I'm talking about this episode with the void you've created that's been filled 1/8 by Andrew, and I'm talking, literally, is now going to be, this episode will be the shittiest scene episode, but will be the best quality episode because of who's on the other side of the table.
I think Andrew is going to do better than me, obviously. He's more intelligent. He's handsome. He's probably got a hog.
Yeah, big hog, yeah.
He's those skinny tall guys always got fucking hammers. So then that beats everything. I got nothing. And just that in itself will make for a better pod. And he's constantly doing fun things where I just stay on my farm and do nothing, so I have nothing to talk about. Andrew literally has everything to talk about. And he's a human American flag. He's everything that the American flag stands for.
Here's what I like about this so far is I have two things to say. One is it all just comes down to with men if you have a big dick or not. Everything else goes out the window. Your achievements, your family, the love for your friends. It's just you have a giant cock. Number two, we asked you to zoom into the show. You were too busy, but now you're zooming into the show without a picture, which makes no fucking sense. That being said, I'm going to get on with the show with Andrew. I just wanted to check in.
You get on with the show because I'm taking care of my wife is literally 9 months
My wife. All right. I hear you.
So I'm bringing her food.
For the family.
And I had some other things come up where I couldn't do the pod. And I love you. I love Andrew already.
He's not a big fan of yours.
He thinks I'm a poser. It's fine. I'm a loser.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It's fine.
I don't do the graffiti. I'm not a graffiti man. So I get it. I get it. You guys are out here on the streets. I'm just a little guy in town, trying to suck my own dick. So
okay. Great talk in front of the kid. I'll check you later. We're going to have a wonderful show. Hey, how does this feel? Oh, yeah. Let's say hi. I was going to hang up.
Mac,
Oh shit!
And he's gone.
That was it.
And he's gone.
His last moments.
Hi, Mackie boy. Hi.
Matt, why'd you give him a big roar? Show him a big...
Okay, this isn't working. Love you, Mac. You're a great kid. Punch your dad in the balls. All right, here we are. Back on the show.
Out here.
Andrew, can I say that he can beep this out? Can I say that you moved here? I want to know how undercover you are.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's cool. Just don't say what neighborhood. Say I'm nearby.
He's in Bel Air.
Yeah, I'm in Bel Air. Live next to Devil's Aryan.
Yeah.
And Ray Shremmerd. Well, Sway Lee, actually, more specifically.
Yep, Sway Lee's next door. He borrowed a cup of perks from Sway Lee the other day. No, Andrew's in L.A. He pulled up. He got a crib. Mm-hmm. He's stationed. And he came to L.A. at probably the best time in the history of L.A. because, the sky's literally purple and it's on fire and it's 100. I said this. It's hot as shit. Andrew had to swap out his shirt when he came in because just walking up the stairs to my crib, you're just fitting your fucking brains out.
Yeah, it's like 108.
It's 108 easy.
Easy 108.
But thank you for pulling up.
Yeah, bro.
And thank you for filling in for Matty.
Had to.
And Matty. Let me ask you this: can we talk about graffiti or no?
Yeah.
You want to talk about graffiti?
Yeah.
Because Matty thinks Matty did I did a show with Matty where he had me cook on air, and I made a chicken cacciatore, and he gave me I pulled out his cookbook and cooked from the cookbook. I nailed it. It was good. Tasted good. Not gonna lie. Now what I have to do is make him a PDF, a step-by-step PDF like a recipe for his first piece.
Oh shit!
All right,
you got to send him like some fried ass like Montana cans, you know.
I want to make it easy on him. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell him to get like the low pressure fucking paint. Whoever I don't know who's the best. I don't know what Montana Gold. I don't know.
That's probably the easiest paint.
The easiest paint, not to plug anybody.
13, I used to like use Montana Gold. I would use like the color pink and like crazy shit.
Yeah.
I thought like the crazier colors, the more like respect you'd get.
Oh yeah.
So I'd go to like free walls and bust out like pink fill-ins.
Yeah.
I think fools would be on my dick, but they weren't.
I used to cram my pieces with so much color, and I remember because I thought that was part of like burning fools, like it just has to have like color, and like I just be like I'm gonna put 16 colors in here, and I remember my friend was like your pieces, man, they're so angry. I was like, what do you mean they're fucking angry? I'm like, how could color be angry?
I'm not angry, fool.
I'm not an angry fool. But then I look back at those pieces and I'm like, they're whack, a lot of them, and now. After my entire lifespan of like doing graffiti, the shit that I love the most is just the ill throw up. Anyone that has like an ill throw up to me, is like because it's still the last like it's something some people never get,
especially down here, low key.
Right?
You know what I'm saying? Like LA people rock like insane burners, like 50 colors on the block, but like you don't see that many sick fills.
No, it's coming back because of COVID and because it's kind of like we're turning into like the third Batman movie where it's like we're starting to run like laws have been kind of like relaxed, like people you can kind of do a lot of shit. Graffiti is just going nuts right now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
The craziest shit to me is like all the hit ups.
Yeah,
like I've never seen stuff like that before.
It was like that in the 90s, and then they did they put a thing on graffiti. They made it a felony. To write graffiti, and that really like when people started going to county for a good chunk of time for graffiti, they're like, "Ooh, I don't know," because it gets a little rough. So like that really tampered down graffiti a lot, and then over the years it's been loose a little bit, but now it's just fucking haywire. This is a graffiti pod.
Have you been to county out here before?
I didn't go in. I've been arrested a bunch of times, and then I get out on OR.
What's
like
that?
Before it's like own recognizance, like, and then I'd always like miss the bus, so I never actually went in. But everybody I know that went in is just like it's the worst.
It sounds bad.
It's the worst. Like they tell me friends of mine done time have been like, it's way better to go to prison than go to county jail. Everyone will tell you that.
Why?
Because from what I hear, county jail is just insane in there. Whereas prison is like a little more organized. You're locked down. There's more of like rules. I think county is just kind of like chaos, right?
Yeah.
From what I get, like they just end up being like 20 people in a fucking dorm. I don't know.
Right.
Doesn't sound good. Especially these days. You don't want to be in county jail with the fucking COVID and all this shit going on.
Yeah, you know that one after hours right next to the jail? Like the Russian after hours with all like the balloons and like...
No, I don't know that one.
They take your phone and like you give them $20 and it's like a 2 to 8 a.m. thing. It's like right next to the jail.
You were talking about that last time.
Yeah, I went there like before COVID with some homies. And it was a good vibe, but then like... This random fool who was, I guess, was like a bouncer. Like, I don't know. I was dating this girl at the time, and I'd like let her talk to whoever.
Yeah.
Like, she's her own person.
Yeah.
And this bouncer kept coming with me and being like, "Hey, bro, like your girl's talking to hella people over there." Like again and again. And I was like, "Bro, I fucking know. You don't have to tell me. I see her. You know what I mean?" And then like he was hella high. He was doing buffs. And then he comes back at the end of the night, like almost in tears, and he's like, "You're finna let your bitch do you like that?" And I was like, "Bro, leave me alone."
He's like, yo, your woman's exercising her freedom of speech.
Yeah, he was tripping hard. So I haven't been back since then.
That's wild. He must have had some issues.
Some pent up problems, for sure.
He had some serious, like, deep fucking gangster cuck issues. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's like, don't get cucked, homie. Don't get cucked.
No, he's like, I've been through this before.
I've been through this, homie. Yeah, so that's what I'm supposed to do. He's going to paint a piece. We're going to do it sooner than later. It's been hard getting Matty to actually come on his own show. I think he's right now doing a 4-hour mini series about how to peel artichokes and what's the best bruschetta to have when you have guests over 6. So that's kind of where his head's at. I'm like, this is where it's at. This is the podcast of all podcasts, the pod de tutti pods, as they say in the podcast mafia. And we're here to like really let people know that we can do this shit boneless. That's Matty free. We can go boneless on PTA, right? This is the boneless Powerful Truth Angels episode.
This is what it is.
It's gonna tank. it's gonna without Matty anchoring this thing and yelling like because his fans drive this shit, right? They all hate me. They all think I'm a piece of shit because I talk shit to them, but I love to do. But I talk shit. It's what I do. I talk shit to everybody, and there's gonna be a revolt, and we're gonna have the lowest numbered episode. Good, but it'll be the most fun. Yeah, he's like good. Yeah. So that's where we're at now. So you came, you pulled up, you got the crib. I heard you pulled up at the Rustic the other night.
Yeah, I was there last night.
Right.
Dude, the patio bar life is not the one right now in LA. It's so bammer. Like all the bars that are open are just like full of like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's like COVID deniers and just totally jaded service industry workers.
Right.
It's like this mix of anti-maskers and fools who are just like getting off crazy shifts.
Right. It's all QAnon dudes.
It seriously is.
And like diehard sports fans.
Yeah, that's pretty much what's going on.
Yeah. I told you, speaking of that, I drove through the QAnon parade.
The Save the Children March?
The Save the Children March. And I was telling you, I came around the corner. I was going to get a haircut. I came around the corner. And there's this angry ass fool, dusty ass, like just a dusty, like sunburnt dude, like pissed off with a huge sign that said "honk if you're not a pedophile." Yeah. And I'm like,
"You gotta honk, dog."
But I was like, I know I'm being manipulated right now. It's like it's like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I didn't honk, so do with that what you may. And then I pulled a right and I pulled up into just like this whole crowd of people, and it was like their whole thing was Save the Children. So they've rebranded apparently. Right?
Well, no, what they did is they like applied to for a permit to do a rally under the guise of #Save Our Children. But it's not just Save Our Children. It's like Save Our Children from adrenochrome being harvested from their pee because of the Biden and Clinton families. So it wasn't just like, oh, our kids are not doing good. It was like, did you see the video Urban posted of them speaking in tongues and wailing, like sobbing outside the Chinese theater?
Yeah.
Being like, let the kids out. It's like, do you think
let the kids out. Yeah.
The kids are inside the TCL Chinese theater?
Yeah.
Like, that's where
all the
elite
kids
keeps the kids?
Yeah.
Not in the hills, but like the most tourist spot.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
The kids are definitely in like the hills, Laurel Canyon.
Yeah, where
like
Chief keeps that.
Yeah. That's the kids are like in a cool bunker. They're not under the fucking movies that,
I know.
That'd be so fire though if there's like a secret door in the Chinese theater. It's just like it's just rows and rows of kids.
Hella youngins.
Yeah. Hella youngins. Hella, like if you have the special pass, you just get to pick out your favorite little fucking Cambodian 8-year-old, take home and Hello Fresh. Well, here's the thing. Without even reading this, I'm just going to say this. HelloFresh makes my life easier because they send in the ingredients. They're prepackaged. ready to go. I know you use this shit a lot, right, Jason? Oh, yeah. You love HelloFresh. Like before this even happened, you were using HelloFresh. Huge advocate. So, you know, you can order food, you can order pizza, or you can eat something fresh. You can cook it yourself. You can pretend that you're like a Matty Matheson type figure. You get the ingredients. They're all prepackaged. You put them in the wok. You stir them in the skillet. You drop it in the oven. You make some food. And then you feel like you actually aren't a wild piece of shit who's just sitting around eating fucking, shell crunch. Can I say another food thing within this ad? Is that? Fuck it.
I've been going crazy, man. I've been ordering twice a day for the past week.
You're young though. You can do that kind of shit.
What? You can't do it?
No.
What's gonna happen?
Oh, I just break. Listen, 3 days. There's visible bloating. I start sweating. Like I can't fuck around. Yeah.
Get MSG pouring out of your eye sockets.
It's fucked up, man. It's fucked up. No, it's no good. My metabolism's shot. So HelloFresh is good for this because you know you don't have to eat. Like I remember being young and eating just like literally eating fucking dog shit. Like literally just injecting preservatives into my mouth. You know what I'm saying? Like. I would just eat like, or remember like my real young lean days when my first apartment, like Top Ramen. Like I remember cooking Top Ramen and being like, I'm actually
being like, damn fool.
Yeah, I'm actually a chef. Like, yeah, just whipping the ramen and whipping the ramen and putting extra shit in it and being like, I'm actually a chef.
Yeah.
And then one day I learned how to cook rice. And this, my homegirl, this Peruvian girl, was like, here's how you cook rice. She broke it down. She's like, here's how you do it. Once I figured that out, I was like, I'm basically a genius.
You ever put the coconut milk in there?
No, I never did that.
Jesus, fool. That's
really?
the one.
That's the one?
Coconut milk and little vegetables like some peas and tiny carrots.
Yeah.
You're on.
That's
next level rice. Seriously, man.
I used to, you want to hear something funny? Sidebar from HelloFresh. I used to, back in the day when I was heavy into graffiti, probably around your age, a little younger.
23.
Yep. Yeah, still in my teens. The only paint that existed was Krylon and Rust-Oleum. There was two companies you get, and then there's some other off-brand shit. The only paint that people used was Krylon and Rust-Oleum. That shit's hard to manage. And Krylon had all the colors, but there was like colors you couldn't get.
Yeah.
This guy from Chicago came, this dude named Agent. He came over, and he brought our crew. He came over and he brought our crew a secret. He goes, you guys want to know how to mix paint? And we're like, what the fuck are you talking about? He showed us how you mix paint. And what you do is, you take one can and you put it in a thing of boiling water and you heat the pressure on the can so it's like boiling, and you get a WD-40 cap with a straw and another cap and you put it between two cans and you press one can and it shoots paint into the other can.
That's crazy.
And we would make these custom colors. And I would do this in my house. And the fucked up part about it is that I had this paint stained huge fucking pot and I would cook my food out of there too because I just didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like I literally did not have I had no sense of any kind of like fear for my health or my safety at any point at that period of my life.
You were
in my
consuming
20s.
paint.
I was literally consuming paint. Like
That's insane.
Just mixing paint in my house. I was like, I'll do anything for fucking graffiti. I lived by a yard. I would get up. Everyone sleep in my house. We'd get up and go crush the yard. We'd go bombing. Like it was my entire, everything in my life was directed towards this one thing, which was graffiti for a very long time. And it's a tough life.
Was it all worth it?
Yeah, it's all worth it because if you can, I wouldn't change a thing I did. I mean, I think there's some I made some dumb decisions. I went a little hard. I partied too much. I don't have regret, but graffiti was like, I think to this day, I'm still connected to that time I spent as like a graffiti writer. Like it was the first thing I dedicated my life to.
Yeah.
Where I was like, this is it. I'm doing this.
Yeah.
And then I think doing that one time has allowed me to figure out how to do it in other periods, in other parts of my life, and being like, okay, I'm going to hyper focus on this thing now.
No, yeah, me too. I probably was most into it when I was like 14, 15 years old.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I'm going to like risk my freedom, even though I'm like a kid.
Yeah.
I have like a good family. I was like, I'm going to go ham and do some dumb shit. And
Yeah.
then now I still do that, but with interviews.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I still like I feel like I'm catching spots. That sounds hella corny, but like I feel like
No.
I go and do crazy shit with like the same sort of logic. Like
anyone that writes
shit.
knows that.
It's crazy too what you were saying about how like your homies would give you like technology advice. And
Yeah.
You had to actually do it. This fool Revoke was saying that he used to go to like the grocery store and take the aerosol cap off of every single product and then put them in a bag and like figure out which one worked.
That's how we got.
So it was
that's
like
how we got
some
caps.
Underground game that like took like you had to know somebody. Kind of like one of those crew changes that they have for like freight hoppers.
Right.
Like, you have to know someone to get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly, everything was like that. Like you stole your paint, you stole your caps, you tried to figure out, somebody would find out, like I remember there was like there was a hairspray and a shoe cleaner that had the great softball caps, and you find the softball, and you're like, this is the cap. People would have like one cap, and they'd be like, I got to clean my cap out. You know, now you get like I still have buckets full of caps that I'm never going to use in the closet, and I can't throw away because it's like there's still a part of me that's just like so excited by having that many caps. That's why I'll hoard pornography, because when I was a kid I couldn't get it, and now I can have as much as I want, and I'm just like, I want to hold it all, I want to control it
for sure. And about graffiti, I don't talk about it very much, but like the reason I think it's always been sicker than like skateboarding and like punk and shit like that, even though it's all connected, is like at the end of the day, like you have to break the law and like put yourself in that spot, like mental spot, to like paint graffiti, right? Whereas like you could be like a gentrified something musician, skater, whatever. Like graffiti, like you still have to put in work, like regardless.
But
so
now,
I saw it differently.
But there's ways. You ever seen this dude Alec Monopoly?
No.
Oh shit. Okay, this is the exact thing you're gonna experience now that you live in LA. This is like when people shit on LA. This is a guy. He's like the weaponized, horrifying, emblematic vision of what LA is to people that hate LA.
Alex Monopoly.
Alec, ALEC Monopoly.
He's like a herb.
No, it's not even like a herb. Like there's like, he's not even a toy. He's like, it's so crazy when you look this dude up that you can't even believe that it's not a prank. Like he's like a rich dude who wears a top hat and he covers his face and he paints the Monopoly Man, and he's wildly successful because he comes from money, and his Instagram is him like painting in like Louis bags and like doing these like really shitty fucking street art, and he's like recognized as an artist, and he's carried in galleries, and every once in a while like I'll just go and pull shit and send it to my homie and be like, check out what Alex up to.
Is he catching illegal spots?
I don't think he ever does an illegal spot. No, it's all paid for. But like every writer in the world that hates his guts, who knows of him, and I'm not here to spew hate, but it's like so horrifying. Like if you look at his whole shit, it's like everything that's wrong with people in the internet in one person as a street artist, right? Like it gives the whole thing like, I mean, street art is pretty shit except for like a couple dudes, like I'm talking about like actual like street artists, you know what I'm saying? Like it's pretty fucked up.
Alfonso's shit is pretty dope.
Yeah, those dudes, like there's dudes that are legit, and there's dudes that are like artists, and they just have them do it in the street. Yeah. But this guy is like basically like it's like he literally paints with like he's the kind of guy who would like use a graffiti font. Like
we're at like graffitiCreator.com shit.
Yeah, like it's beyond like that would be too good for him.
Yeah. I mean, I would venture to say that street art is my least favorite thing in the world.
It's horrible, right? It's a nightmare.
Every element to it.
I fuck with Banksy though.
That's the homie.
I fuck with Banksy.
Yeah, that's my guy. It's like the lying homie. Yeah. We used to kick it.
No, he's cool though.
We used to kick it. I mean, he got a little, he's kind of off the shits now. You know what I'm talking about? Like, what?
So anyways, HelloFresh, you gotta, the thing is this. HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit. All right. And the other thing about HelloFresh is you can save time. There's variety, sustainability, and flexibility in your giving back. And I know I'm reading from this thing, and it might seem like I'm being insincere, but like I low-key fuck with HelloFresh, and I would love it if HelloFresh would send me some free shit, because we want free shit, because all our money goes to pay Jason when we read these ads. I'm just being transparent because we tell the truth, because we're the powerful truth angels. And the thing is about HelloFresh is they offer many delicious options every week to help you break out of your recipe rut and try new things. There's something for everyone, including low-calorie, vegetarian, and kid-friendly recipes. HelloFresh delivers fresh, high-quality, pre-portioned ingredients so you can make meals that are delicious and nutritious. And over 90% of ingredients are sourced directly from growers to ensure that the freshest recipes are delivered to your door. That's farm to table, my dude.
Whoa.
Whoop!
There it is.
It helps you eat more sustainably. It's flexible for your lifestyle, and they're committed to giving back. I love HelloFresh. I want to stop paying for it. I want them to send me free shit. I'm just saying, I'm throwing it out there, but whatever, I'll still buy it. I fucking love it. It's the best. I made some beautiful beef little cutlet thing with the rice, and the whole thing is fucking wonderful. Anyways, I don't know why I waited so long to do it, and the call to action is go to HelloFresh.com, PTA80, and use code PTA80 to get a total of $80 off your first month, including free shipping on your first box. Additional restrictions apply. Please visit HelloFresh.com for more details. Go to HelloFresh.com, PTA80, and use code PTA80 to get a total of $80 off your first month. Go to HelloFresh/PTA80 and use code PTA80 to get a total of $80 off for your first month, including free shipping on your first box. Additional restrictions apply. Please visit HelloFresh.com for more details. Now that you moved into your new house, you might want to get some HelloFresh. Sure. Maybe jump off the pan. Can't use any can't say that. Maybe jump off of other shit you might be eating and get some HelloFresh. So you pulled up to the Born and Raised Dodgers.
I did.
It
was hella sick.
Which is dropping the same day that this is dropping on Thursday. That was tight that you came. Everyone I love that the reaction where half the people knew who you were and half the people were like, who is this gentleman in the brown suit?
Yeah.
The best part about my day was this. You ended up with BG Perico.
Yeah.
Super Crip. And the whole time he's trying to get you to throw up his set.
Yeah, he was trying to put me down for Crip the whole time.
Yeah, he's just trying to get you to start cripping. He's like, you need
come
cripping in your life.
He's like, you just moved out here, I got you, bro. I was just like, no. He would pause the street, he'd be like, hey, Gangsta Drew, throw up Crip. And I'm like, no, cuz.
He got you, Gangsta Drew.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, you already say cuz, and out here, cuz is a Crip thing. You know that?
But if I could, no one is gonna think I'm a Crip.
No.
What's up, cuz?
No, a lot of people say cuz.
A lot of people say cuz.
But out here, it's a definite Crip thing to say cuz.
Well, it's definitely a thing to say. If I said, what's up, blood? That's way worse, because cuz is cousin.
Very definitive.
Blood is not short for anything else.
What's up, bloodling?
Yeah, that's what, white boys on Fairfax do say shit like that.
Oh, yeah. White boys on Fairfax say all kinds of shit.
They're crazy, man.
So, yeah, and the best thing about it was when you were... Okay, we kept doing this. We were doing this shot where we just kept doing the same shot over and over. And you're in a setup with Perico.
Yeah.
And you're interviewing him. But you didn't have... Your mic wasn't wired. You just had a mic. Every time I came past with the camera, you guys were deep in conversation as if you were being interviewed. But there was no sound on the camera.
We were just talking.
You were just talking. But it was like every time I came by, he'd be like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? The thing is... Blah, blah, blah. And he'd just be like woofing some shit. And you were like,
We're connecting on a wild frequency because, he's just like a funny ass dude.
He's funny as shit.
He has a really good storytelling style. No, but dude, LA's been so sick, man. Like, I'm so excited to have a backyard and an iMac and roommates with AC, central AC, unlike this crib.
I know. This is fucked.
And I got a bicycle. I went on a sick ass date last night. I'm going to Vegas in 2 hours. I'm about to buy a Subaru tomorrow morning. Yeah.
The thing about BG too is that I just met him that day, and he looks mean as fuck on the internet. Like he looks like a dude who is going to give you a hard time. Like he's not going to be easy to work with. And as a matter of fact, he was cool as shit. He was super easy to work with. He was very chill, and he was funny as fuck.
Super funny.
Right?
People showed me mad love out there, man.
Yeah.
It was sick.
Yeah.
Because, I just like people like that.
Yeah.
Because, you remember whenever I walked in, that dude was like, Andrew? And it was some Seattle fool.
Oh, Salem.
Yeah, Salem.
Yeah. Salem, yep.
Yeah, it was crazy. He's like, I haven't seen you since you were 14, bro. Like,
oh, you knew him from back then.
He's like, last time I saw you had braces, and you were, talking about Molly. I was like,
did he know you did the all gas shit?
Yeah, he was a fan.
Did. Okay, cool.
It's like the homie's half brother as well.
That's so tight. Yeah. It's such a small, it's such a small world, man. The way you connect with people and
it's hella funny because everyone talks about how LA is so fake. That's like the American perception is they see like TikTok influencers and stars, but LA is actually just people here are just more upfront with it.
Yeah,
like, they'll tell you if they fuck with you and like how they measure your value socially.
Yeah.
Whereas New York's the same, but everyone in New York's trying to act grimy.
Right.
So it's like
everyone's pretending to be poor and
everyone's
shit.
like, oh, I got this shitty Bushwick studio apartment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they're paid out the ass.
Yeah.
In LA, people be like, I have a beautiful home in Bel Air. Come through. And I like that better.
Right.
I kind of like LA more than New York nowadays.
I mean, in New York, they're like, I have had the same pair of Converse for 4 years, and they're super rich.
Out the closet off the J train.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so dark and fucking grungy and shit. You're like, fool, you have 8 trust funds. Relax.
Right.
You know what I mean? No, I mean, the thing about LA is that all the people that make LA shitty are the people that move here and who try to pretend to they saw Entourage and they want to live that lifestyle or whatever the new version of Entourage is on Instagram.
Yeah. And
they want to be that dude. And it's like real cornballs from fucking Minnesota pull up and they're just like, they just look, they're wearing it's just fucked up.
People have the Pharrell style hats out here, like the Sydney, Australia hats where it's flat and it's pastel colored.
Yeah.
LA is low-key a little bit behind in the high-end fashion world.
Yeah.
In the way of when you go to West Hollywood, some of those streets, people dress pretty fucking bad. Expensive, but
bad.
Because in New York, people dress so good.
They dress so good.
Even
traditionally, we've always been behind fashion in New York. The funny thing about it though is that LA, all the apparel shit moved to LA because all the factories shut down in New York. All the apparel companies came out here, but we're still there's a lot of ways in which New York is always been cool. I love New York so much. My mom's from New York.
Yeah, me too.
Every time I go, your mom's from New York?
No, but I love New York.
Oh, okay. Your mom's my mom?
Okay.
Yeah. No, I love it. Every time I go out there, I'm like, this is the most vibrant, beautiful, energetic city I've ever been to. Yeah. But for the price I pay for my place, which has 2 bedrooms and a couple baths, I'd live in half of this living room in New York.
Of course. It's just more pedestrian friendly.
Yeah.
It's just, more easy to navigate. But people were like appropriating hella LA shit.
In New York.
Yeah, everywhere.
Really?
Hell yeah, bro.
Huh.
Like the fine line tattooing style.
Oh yeah,
like,
I can see that.
Like Dickie shit.
But
Pendletons and shit.
Oh yeah, but New York's gotten like the disease of like hyper cool, whatever the fuck it's called now, like the shit that happened in Bushwick, the shit that happened in Silver Lake, you know, like a few years ago it was guys with curly mustache riding fucking hoop bikes and dressing like sailors, you know, and I'd be like, you're really dressed in a costume, whatever that thing is.
Yeah, I think that thing died.
It kind of died, huh?
It's still in like Oklahoma City,
right?
You know what I mean? And like Milwaukee, you'll still see like the tall bike mustache guys,
right?
But now hipster, whatever that even means
hipster,
at this point.
I don't want to say hipster, because
it's like a fried term because it's
a
such
fried
a wide spectrum of people. Like when you say hipster, it's like, oh shit, aren't we kind of hipsters too? Like,
right.
You can't be out here like, man, I fucking hate hipsters. Like, so what do you want?
Yeah.
Like it's always fools who've been in Echo Park for more than 5 years.
Yeah.
Who are like, oh man, this shit's fried now.
I'm
looking at them and I'm like, what?
Yeah, like what are you doing?
Yeah,
dude?
what about before you? Was it fried then? I don't know.
Because now you have a $300 vintage T-shirt instead of like.
Gentrification is huge. I want to start covering more shit about that in my videos.
Oh yeah.
It's massive and it gets swept under the rug, especially during this whole protest movement.
Yeah, and I also am like, because that's a lot of what the Born and Raised platform has been about, anti-gentrification.
They're from Venice, right?
Yeah.
What happened there?
Oh man, in Venice, like I remember being a kid and starting to look at like paying attention to what homes cost. And I remember like when I was young, it was like, yo, there's a house on the street that's $300,000. And we were like, what the fuck? Like we couldn't even believe it. We thought that was the most fucking terrifying thing in the world. Like I'm never going to be able to live here. And that was, a long time ago. And then like 5 years later, that same house was like 1.5 million. Yeah. And the way it worked in Venice is that people were buying, like it's not just about people moving into a neighborhood. That's not gentrification. Gentrification, like you moving into a neighborhood is not gentrification. What's gentrification to me is when a real estate company comes and buys 30 homes, revamps them, and then flips them and sells them to people from outside the neighborhood at a crazy exorbitant price. Sure. And it's a craze, right?
Yeah, the developers are definitely the sharks.
Yeah.
Those people who just come in. So Venice in the 90s, what was it like? Was there still like a tourist gift shop destination or was it kind of like cutting?
Everything. Venice is like, the boardwalk was what it was. Just the boardwalk on a Sunday, more people than Disneyland. I'm talking like the entire boardwalk.
Yeah.
The entire width of the boardwalk packed the fuck out. And it was like, it was the most fun you'd ever have. Like if you lived in Venice, you just go to the beach. You go to the boardwalk for the whole day. And you're just in a fucking a tornado of people and weird shit and girls and pit bulls and dudes. I remember dudes rolling around with like full lace jumpsuits with snakes on their neck, just like the most wild, because everybody from the inner city would come to Venice and everyone from like all the tourists would come to Venice. It was just like,
sounds sick.
It was crazy.
So was that the go-to, like where you and Sponto would go to kick it when you were younger?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And like, but Sponto was like, we had different paths. Like I'm older than him and he was a gangster. Yeah. And I remember seeing him and I'd be like, I remember seeing him as a kid and him and his ace, who's like locked up for life now. And I remember seeing them being like, those kids are fucking trouble. Like they're like, I was a bad kid, but those were bad kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were like, like when you start becoming like a juvenile delinquent and you're figuring out where you're going to be and you click up with this crew for a day or two and you're like, oh shit, no, these guys are too scary. Yeah. Like I remember doing that as a kid, like being like, I'm going to go fucking hang out with these guys and steal car stereos. And then you end up and you do that. And you're like, it's cool. And then they end up doing some other shit. They're like, we're going to go break into a house right now and fucking home invade somebody. I'm like, no, I'm good, dog. Like,
so who are like the scariest fools you clicked up with for a day or two?
It was guy. I mean, I don't know their names, but it was that exact kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like I remember one time we had these. You know what shatter rocks are? It's like you break up a spark plug, and when you throw it at a car window, it just goes. It makes like a soundless like, whoom, like it makes this noise, and the window just dissolves. Mm-hmm. And something about spark plugs, that little ceramic piece. We go to this guy's house in his garage, and he would give the kids a bunch of shatter rocks, and he'd say, "Okay, now go get me like 10 pullouts, and I'll give you $20 a pullout, which is a pullout stereo." Yeah, I'm really dating myself. So we go out on our bikes, and we have a thing full of shatter rocks. And I didn't make a career of this. I did it a few times, and I was like, and I would throw the shatter rock in the car window and get the pullout, and then take it to his house for $20. And like it was kind of like exciting, $20 for a kid at that age. Yeah, it goes a long way. And I remember doing that stuff, and then it was like, and I'm hanging out with that group of kids, and then it was like, okay, well, let's go do some other shit. And then they're talking about, let's start breaking into houses, and it just started getting like more creepy and scarier. Where it's like,
for sure.
Yeah, and if someone's there, we'll do this. And I'm like, what do you mean we're gonna? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like,
Yeah,
like,
I had a similar experience. Like I went to the school Washington in Seattle, which was in the CD, which was like the frontier of hella gentrification there. And I had this group of friends who like we were all into like, I just moved from Philly in 5th grade. So like, I don't know. I just like connected with like different kinds of people. I was like kicking it with everybody because Seattle was just different from what I was used to.
Yeah.
And these kids, like, we'd rap together. We'd go to the studio, and then gradually they just started doing like weirder shit. Like we started by just like we were like prank kids. So we just take big ass boulders and walk by people's cars and just throw it in the windshield.
Yep.
Just like no money, just like only for fun.
Yeah.
And we would like fucking pull our pants down in like Westlake Center downtown and start like pissing everywhere.
Yeah.
It was like pre-graffiti, pre-criminal hijinks where
Yeah.
you knew you just like wanted to fuck with people but weren't sure how.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to like profit in any way, socially or financially.
Yeah.
And so then like started getting bikes and stuff like that. And then like we used to do this thing where they would have me like knock on the front door of people's cribs while they like went in the back, you know,
Right.
because it was while the CD was gentrifying. I'd be like, "Hi, does Seamus still live here?" Like, and they'd be like, "How many Xboxes? Whatever. How many this,
Right.
that?"
Oh, yeah.
And it just got weird. And like one time they sent me on this mission where they took like a stick of Old Spice and put it in the microwave so it gets really hard. Put it into a vial, and they're like, "Oh, go serve this like fiend." And I was like, "No." I was like, "I'm not."
You're like, I'm drawing the line.
I'm like a 13-year-old white kid with like this level of juicer. Like I'm not gonna
Right.
go down and try to sell a fiend
right.
a vial of crack.
Right.
And so I stopped kicking it with them, made the right choice because like they all ended up basically in jail. And they would get out and they would call me, and I'm thinking they had like been rehabilitated because I was 17. I thought that maybe like some type of rehabilitation comes from jail. I was like
Right.
a kid.
Right.
They'd call me and be like, "Hey man, how's it going?" We talked for like 5 minutes, and they'd be like, "What's your bank account number, bruh?"
Yeah.
And I'd be like, "What?" They'd
Let
be
me
like,
hold that.
"Oh," they're like, "I just got this big ass check, but I can't cash it because
Yeah.
my girl's mom is tripping."
Yeah.
And I'd be like, "Oh, okay, cool. Like, I'm not gonna give you that because I don't even have a bank account because I'm
Right.
a kid." And so like they would just call me like 10 times a day up until my like late teens, be like, "What's your bank account info?" They all went to jail for scamming, and then fucking
What's your dad's social security
6
number?
months ago, I get a random call, and the homie's like, "Yo, it's whatever." Bleep that. And he was like, "Yo, man, like I haven't talked to you in a while. Like I got a kid now. I'm the manager at T-Mobile or whatever." He's like, "I'm doing fucking good." Like, and we talked for 10 minutes. I was like, you know, because I had smoked weed with him the first time. He's like, "Remember when you first hit that blunt? You asked me if you swallowed fire." Like, we had all these positive memories. It's like, "Remember you and me made that song and then threw those eggs out your mom's 10-story window and like cracked that bald fool in the head." Like all this good shit. And so we're like, getting to the end of the conversation. He's like, "Anyways, bruh, what's your bank account number?"
No.
And I was like, "No fucking way."
No.
And I was like, "Dog, is this really happening?" And he's like, "Yeah, man, I got a big ass cashier's check. I just can't put it in by myself because, you know, the IRS is going to flag me." And I was like, "Damn, after all this time, Doug?"
You got to give him
Yeah.
points for persistence.
It was amazing.
I fuck with that.
Yeah.
Like at the last minute, you're like, "Oh, he finally broke through. He's a normal person." Like,
Yeah.
"What's their social security number?" There's something about being that age. Like at that age, you have all these hormones in your body.
Mm-hmm.
You still don't know how to hook up with girls yet, and you just become like a wild, destructive creep.
Yeah.
And like the right people come and harm. That's how people end up in gangs, right? Like
Yeah.
you're in a shitty neighborhood. You're fucking full of hormones. All the big homies look cool as shit.
Right.
And you know that aggression has to get channeled.
Definitely. I think the best way to learn is just to get socked.
Right.
I mean, every time I've probably gotten punched in the face like 3 times in my life.
Yeah.
That first experience was like right behind Washington Middle School. They'd have fights every day.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm pulling up in the full Elmo outfit. You know what I mean?
Right.
Elmo hoodie, Elmo hat. You know what I mean? I'm pulling up like, all right, let me watch the fight. Right.
Yeah.
So these fools are fighting, and I'm getting way too into it. Right.
Yeah.
I'm commentating like a Joe Rogan, and I'm like, yeah, sock that fool, like get him. Right.
Yeah.
And so like this dude turns around and he's like, "You said get who?" And I was like, "Oh, I was just commentating. I'm just
Yeah.
watching the fight, man."
Yeah.
And he's like, "That's my brother you're talking about."
Yes.
And I was like, "Oh shit, word." And everyone was like, "You better run, white boy, whatever." And before I knew it, I'm just getting fucking slumped. You know what I mean? Like hella bad.
Yeah.
I'm like bleeding. I run into the Red Apple, the store right there, and I was like, "Somebody call my dad." And so I called my dad. I was like, Dad, I got jumped, whatever. Da, da, da.
Yeah.
And then the next day I got to school. And my dad was like, "You got to file a report with the administrators. You got to get justice for yourself because you got your ass beat out there. Like, you don't deserve that. You're just a kid."
Yeah.
And so, like, I remember while I was filing the report with Miss Jones, who was the administrator, she pulled out the yearbook and was like, "I need you to point out the dudes who did this to you."
Oh yeah.
And I was like, "Word." And I remember while I was about to point one of them out, and these fools walked right by the office.
Yeah.
And like looked at me. Like, I was like, "Oh shit."
Yeah.
And so I was like, "You know what? I don't think these guys even go to this school.
Nice.
I can't point them out." And Miss Jones was like, "You don't have to do this, Andrew. Like, just snitch." And I was like, "No." And so that day, I was crying still, because I was in 7th grade and I just got my ass beat.
Yeah.
And I walk outside the doors of the school, and the same fool who like beat me up came and like dapped me up. He's like, "I appreciate you."
Oh really?
Yeah.
You learned a lesson.
And then so
You learned how not to snitch.
isn't that crazy how those little like mini traumatic experiences with big homies, just it's crazy, man.
It's part of your makeup. Like I can remember every time I've been jumped and beat up.
Yeah.
I remember I used to go to this liquor store by my house, which was on Abbot Kinney in California. It was like there was like the hood, which is like this square area of like Abbot Kinney, California, Rose, and Lincoln. That was pretty much the hood. And then the outskirts, had its pockets, but that was like the concentration in Venice, right? Like one of the major hoods. And I lived like right outside, and I go play video games, and like you don't know shit. Right, you start learning about what the gang shit is, and like, I remember like, the Crips would regulate there, and like, some kids would say some shit, and like kids would say like, I remember one kid was like, I'm a cuz blood, and the Crips like, what, you're what? And like he's just saying both things at once because he's just a kid. He's like,
a cuz blood?
Yeah, he's like, I'm a cuz blood, and this Crip just fucking went nuts on him, right?
He beat his ass.
He did. He almost beat his ass. He didn't. For some reason, he must have been like the homie's little brother. He like gave him a little bit of a pass. But like, I remember like these little lessons out there. I'm like, okay, I'm never gonna say that.
Yeah.
And somewhere around that time, I'm playing a video game. I'm playing this video game just like a little kid, right? Like 11, 12, just, like big ass glasses, fucking just fucked up. And I'm playing this video game, and this Crip comes and just like shoves me off the game, starts playing. I don't know any better. I shove him back off the game and like, fuck you, Yeah. And I'm playing. And next thing you know, like I'm just like dazed and my glasses are on sideways. I'm like, what just happened? I was like, oh, you got socked. Like, like you remember those moments of like getting socked in the face.
Yeah.
Like what that's really like. And getting jumped too. I would get jumped like, it was just like if you're in high school with a bunch of gangsters, you're kind of like practice. Like I remember gangsters would approach. I had this buddy of mine, this dude Canal Rat, and he said that this one cholo would come up and try to fight him all the time. I think for practice. And Canal Rat could fight, and he was a surfer, and this dude would just come fight him like on the low.
Sounds like some GTA San Andreas shit. Like he walks past you every day and was like, "What's up?"
Yeah, like we're gonna fight. He's like, fuck, and like it could go bad because if you beat one of these dudes up, you can get fucking stabbed or shot.
Right.
And like they would just like they'd have to deal with real shit where they were at, and then with fucking with us was like there's no consequences. We're not in a gang, right?
Yeah.
They're not really gonna like I remember there's a moment too where I got jumped. I was this is a funny story. I again talking shit my whole life. I was playing baseball. This was at Mark Twain, my junior high, and I was talking shit to this little dude, and I was like, your team sucks, you fucking suck. Like laugh, clowning him. And he looks at me and he goes, I'm going to get you on the streets. And I go, you ain't going to get nobody nowhere, you fool. And 3 months later, he got jumped in the Cholo gang, right?
Yeah.
In Venice. And he was a member. And he remembered that shit. It was like 3 months later. I had totally forgotten. I remember seeing him in the hallway. And he was, oh, shit. We'll pick this up later.
Yeah.
Our guest is here. Wait, we need the cans. We have a guest today. Good. All right, so I'll continue with that story while he sets this up.
For sure. So what happened in the hallway?
He sees me in the hallway. I see the same dude, but now he's a cholo, right? And he sees me, and I see him, and he's mad dogging me. I'm like, why is this gangster looking at me? It's not a good thing. And I'm just saying, like, what's going on? And then the whole day he kept mad dogging me. He's crispy white tee, Dickies, a whole nine. And all right, so I go through the day. I'm like, nothing happened. I ride my bike home. I see a bunch of cholos, a bunch of the homies, like some of them I knew. So I'm like, I'm gonna ride my bike through this crowd of dudes like I usually do because we're all cool.
Yeah.
I ride my bike through the crowd of dudes, and that dude's in the crowd, and then I get jumped.
By everybody?
Yeah, everybody.
Damn.
And
Was this the same people that Sponto kicked it with?
Yeah, his people, but like different generation, right? But and I rode my bike through, and then I got jumped, and it was the dude who I had dissed his baseball team like 3-4 months ago, and it stuck in his head. And he's like, the first thing I do when I get put on, I'm gonna fuck that dude up.
Yeah.
And I remember I was like trying to defend myself, and they had my bike, and it was like my bike was in the air, like I'm like holding on the bike with one hand, and my other hand I'm like trying to like punch them back, and and they're getting mad that I'm trying to hit them. Like, you trying to hit us, homie? And like and they're just walking around me in a circle, right? And like just punching me from different angles. And then the dude, the little guy, he just waited, and he just went pap and just knocked me out.
Knocked you out.
Knocked me out. And I woke up like looking at the sky with my hand on the bike, just like in feet.
It's like a whip it mode.
You know what I'm saying? Full whip it, like full whip it seizure. And then I had my homeboy Gary Green and this dude Rafi and some of my homies, big dudes, right?
Yeah.
They were like, they got all hyped up. They're like, fuck that. And they were like, fuck this fool. And like, well, let's go get him. We all piled into a car. And And we all pile in the car. And Rafi is this Armenian dude. And Rafi puts on like NWA to get us hyped up. So he's bumping NWA, you know, and we're driving around his like Honda. And we're like, we're going to get this guy. And like we started doing it and I'm all hyped up. And then I was like, wait a minute, you guys, what the fuck are we doing? Do you know how this is going to end? And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, we can't jump them. Like we're going to get fucking slaughtered.
Yeah.
Like we're not going to make it through this. Like we're going to have to leave, you know, like someone's going to die if we do this.
For sure.
Like that's the whole purpose of a gang is to do this shit legit. And I talked them down and I was like, we need to just put this to bed and take this one for the team.
Have you seen that full since?
Nah. But you know what? Probably my memory's kind of shot. I probably have seen him and like not known it's him. Sponto guarantee knows it. And Sponto knows everything about everything in that place. So he probably knows. Yeah. Yeah. He knows everything. He's like a walking fucking like story. I don't know what a storybook is.
It was sick to meet that dude. I'm stoked to have you guys on my podcast too.
Oh, I can't wait.
That shit's gonna be crazy, man.
Can't wait.
Yeah, I talked to Sponto yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like getting him. He has like, you know, because he did the chemo. So sometimes there's days where his like head's off and he'll just be like, I can't do it.
That's what he told me on the phone. He was like, give me 24 hours notice because he might have some brain fog.
Yeah. But even with brain fog, it's in his head. Like he still is himself, even if he's like a little foggy, right?
Yeah,
like,
for sure. I mean, I had a really severe concussion like a year and a half ago. So I had brain fog for like 4 or 5 months.
Oh, really?
So I know what it's like to just be like cognitively fucking rustled up, you know.
How'd you do that?
I was working at this old restaurant in New Orleans called Broussard's, and they sent me into the attic to get like some plates and stuff like that. They built these attics for like Cajun Frenchmen in the 1800s. So this shit's, it's probably like 5.5 feet tall.
Right.
I'm running like full speed and I just rammed my forehead into this like sloped marble doorway, curbed. And I was like, I had like amnesia for a second.
Right.
That shit was crazy, bro.
It's the worst to injure yourself doing something stupid. Hey, what's
how
up,
you doing,
Josh?
y'all? Hey, how you doing?
What up, man? Can you hear us?
Yes, finally. Now I can hear y'all.
Hell yeah. Josh, I want to introduce. I'm Two Tone. This is Andrew.
What's up? Good to meet you. You're a legend, man. Thanks for tapping in with us.
Thank you for having me.
So, we listen. PAWG Nation. I want to be a part of that nation.
Well, the first question I have is why is it a nation and not just like why is it PAWG Nation as opposed to like PAWG World, PAWG City, PAWG Town? Why is
well, we thought me and my friend Kish Lee thought it was a good fit for the whole thing. You know, PAWG Nation was something we came up with.
Definitely.
Something that made more sense, something that could fit to that type of brand, you know?
Well, where's the best place in the nation to locate the PAWGs that you're interested in?
Well, my best guesses are probably California, Florida, or maybe even Washington.
And where do you live?
I live in Georgia.
Not enough PAWGs down there?
Shoot, hell no. Pretty much. Most of them are pretty married.
Let me ask you something. You got PAWGs, you got Chongas, but you ever think about Aguas? That's Asian girls with ass.
I never thought about it actually. You know, I thought about it once, but I've always kind of found PAWGs as the best fit, you know?
So for those who don't know, what is a PAWG?
A fat-ass white girl, that's what a PAWG is.
When you say fat, are you talking obese or are you talking more on the heavy side of normal?
Actually, you know, white girls with big asses. That type of thing.
And what about a Chonga?
What does that even mean?
A Chonga is a Latino girl with a big ass, big round ass.
How long have you felt this way about big asses? Because I got to tell you, it's been a long time for me feeling this way.
I've been feeling that way ever since I was about 14. I'm 22 years old. I'm 22 now.
Was there a particular moment when you were 14 where you were like, this is what I like?
Pretty much. You know, I've always had a big love for white girls. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's pretty much particularly my type.
Is there a hair color that you prefer?
Well, there's blonde, there's red hair, there's ginger types, and you got blonde types, and there's brunette and dark hair.
Those are all the types of hair.
What do you think is the downside to loving PAWGs? Like, what's wrong with PAWGs?
Well, the role with PAWGs is, you know, well, me and Keisha have been trying to find some pogs to go live with, on Instagram. And, we met a pretty, well-known, famous people. There's Big Nietzsche, Lil Yachty, Lil House Phone. I even did a live video with him. I even did a live video with a white girl named Brooke Benz. Now she's pretty talented. I'll give her that.
Now this is the kicker that maybe we might be getting into this too early. I heard you claim that you're a virgin.
Yes, I am. I still am.
Why?
Well, I've, particularly, I'm kind of like, I never had a girlfriend before in my life. Never have, not once. And, I've never had no plan in my life. I just been single for years of my life. I'm 22. Let's just say I just grown through a lot of rough years, since high school. Let's just say I was just mainly not any girl's type. They just didn't like me. And, it's just kind of been that way ever since.
But the way you passionately talk about pogs makes me feel like you're a pog. You're a veteran of running through them. Uh-oh.
Hello, Kay. My friend Keisha Lee's on the line.
What's up?
I would like y'all to introduce my friend Keisha Lee Evans, but I call her Kay.
What up, Kay?
Everybody calls her Kay.
What's going on, guys?
Kay is Josh's manager.
Interesting.
And best.
Hey guys.
Are we losing picture with this? Huh?
She doesn't like to show her face sometimes.
Let me put you
That's
guys
fine.
on the
What's the connection with Kay and you and managing you in the POG world?
Well, me and her are friends. We've been best friends for 9 months. We've known each other for quite a while. So it was, we particularly came up with the idea. I've had people who gave me tips and ideas since now that I became famous and went viral all over the world. They thought about me capitalizing on the idea.
Well, I mean, now that you're viral, you've got to have a ton of pogs in your DMs, like trying to contact you. Is that something that do you respond to those DMs?
Well, we did have some girls who inboxed me. It wasn't just girls, but we also had a lot of fans that inboxed us. And, we just went on from there. We had girls who DM'd me on Twitter, Instagram. So some girls actually kind of.
What's the best? If a pog is trying to, make their move on you, slide into your DMs, what's the best thing they could say? Like, what approach do you prefer?
Well, the best thing I expect from a girl is that they find me attractive.
Yeah.
If they want to hook up, I'll let them hook up. And if they want to date, they want to date. The particular reason I didn't expect to go viral, I just mainly just wanted a girlfriend. Like to spend time with, maybe have fun with, and all that.
That sounds great. If you had a girlfriend right now, like, what's your dream vacation? Assuming that the world opens back up.
You mean my dream with a girlfriend?
No, what is your dream vacation? Like if you had a POG girlfriend right now, where would you go if you can go anywhere in the world?
Well, I would if I had a POG, I probably would take her out, maybe head over to Atlanta. Have fun, have me drinks. We book a hotel room. Shit. We would just get down onto it. And then, we can go to maybe a fair, eat together, sleep together, maybe, Netflix and chill, all that kind of stuff. I would probably take her, we'd probably head out to California or maybe Florida at least. Or, hell, maybe even head out to a Caribbean cruise one day.
Oh, shit.
Now we're talking.
Okay.
Keisha Lee is obviously occupied with something, I can tell.
Yeah, that's fine. No, keep it muted because we're getting a lot of feedback, so that's better. Right? Will that help?
Better for you guys.
Yeah.
Keisha, could you mute yours just so there's less background noise for these guys?
Yeah, we're getting feedback. Perfect. You there, Josh?
Yes, I am.
So what's the day in the life of you know, because I follow PAWG Nation, and you know, what's it look like when you get up? The thing I don't understand. Let me back this up. With all these girls I see you with, how are you not getting where you want to get with these people? Because I feel like it would be, you're a good looking dude. You got the game of a man twice your age. And I feel like you should be able to land a POG, a Chonga, or a in Agua, the term I've coined, an Asian girl with ass, or any ethnicity with a big butt. And I feel like that should be.
What?
Go ahead.
I have asked myself that same question over and over and over and over, many times over. I've always asked myself that same question, you know. I don't know. It depends on what their interest is. Shoot. Besides, there has been one particular girl I've been trying to deal with for the past several months, and I've been trying to understand or comprehend what her interests really are. But shit, many other girls, you know, women are very complicated. That we all know. You know, It depends on what they're looking for in life. You know, it's just kind of messed up all over. But you know how women are. You know, it's just this and that. And, you know, come and go. You know.
Yeah.
I feel like you come off like a player, but the reality is you want one woman. You want to settle down.
Well, the thing about it is, when I went viral, I kind of expressed out my whole self, you know. I was just being myself at the time, you know. And, you know, I was being at myself. When I first went viral, I met these guys at a park, told them what I like, which is fat-ass white girls, which is, you know, is my type. But, you know, but sometimes, you know, the future itself, you know, comes in twists and turns, you know. I didn't expect for all of this to happen, but it came anyway. But, you know, I was just being myself at the time. And then after I went viral, that video has been still around ever since. And then that's when months later I met Kay. And, you know, we became friends. And then we created POG Nation together.
And what do you think is the future of POG Nation?
About to ask that.
Okay.
Are we expanding to different countries?
Well, I thought since I would use my own thing, you know, this whole fame thing I got going on, and probably maybe transform it into maybe something a little different.
Okay.
But sometimes I feel like it won't last too long, but, you know, we have been trying to, like, keep things up and running ever since.
I mean, we're going to spread the word with this podcast. I'll tell you that much. I don't know if it's going to further the progressive internet clout, but I hope it does, because I feel like you need some merch. Are you making merch yet?
Me as in, oh yes, we have sold T-shirts, caps. We have sold like many iPhone cases. We even created our own website.
Okay, that's smart, because I would definitely. I think I need something. I might have to check it out. I'm gonna have to purchase some POG Nation merch.
Me too.
You got any more questions? No. You figured it all out.
Yeah.
Sorry for that.
POG Nation, bro.
Yeah. He's got one goal, and that's to be the. Let me say, perfect world, Joshua. If you could have all your dreams realized, I'm talking like the most fantastical, crazy, beautiful dream you ever had in your whole life, what would it be? And just shoot for the moon here.
Well, the biggest dream that I would have, well, my first goal was to go in the military, go in the Army, get into college, you know, further my education and everything else. And then maybe one day, you know, once God has bring that girl into my life, I could just stick with it. And then maybe things will look up. The biggest dream was probably maybe owning a business, owning a company, making money, also becoming famous was also part of that as well.
Mhm.
Becoming famous is all of that. You know, that was one of my dreams that I wanted to make come to a reality.
Well, I hope every one of those things happens for you, man. Seriously.
hmm when I started gaining a name for my own self, you know, a lot of people have called me many things. I've had people who called me Pog King, the Messiah. Shoot. They even called me the Legend.
I was just about to say that's what I would call you if I had one name. It'd be the Legend. Keep it simple.
The type of thing I call myself is the new face of the future. That's what I call myself.
That also applies, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Do you have any catchphrases you want to drop before we wrap this up?
Shoot. I couldn't think of any actually.
What about the clip where you're talking about Pogs in the cars that they don't have?
You mean Pogs in the car with me?
You said I remember I watched a clip where you're talking about these Pogs cars is always in the shop.
Oh yeah. Right.
I guess I just said it. All right. I mean, I'm really excited that we got to have you on, and we're gonna push your we're gonna put the PAWG Nation tag right here. Boom. And follow PAWG Nation if you want to know what's up with the leader of the PAWG, the free PAWG world, the legend, the king, the man with the Midas touch of the booties and such. That one's for free. You know, and that's the man, Joshua, the PAWG Nation master.
Man.
Thank you so much, Josh.
If I had Pogs inside of a car shop, I would just name it the Pog Shop.
I second that emotion. That doesn't make sense. I agree. All right, man. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, it was pretty fun though.
Yeah,
it was fun for us too, man.
It was good for us.
You came on.
I also wanted to address about that little strip party I had.
What?
It was pretty fun. You know that little party I had. It was just all fun.
Which party is this?
Yeah, one of my friends. It was one of my friends' party. But you know, it may not have been Pogs, but you know.
That sounds fun, man. I'm glad that you addressed it.
Yeah, particularly my type is girls with big asses. That's my type.
Copy that.
Yeah.
Loud and clear.
Hogs.
All right, Joshua. Thank you so much.
All right.
I wish you our blessings in the POG world.
I thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good day. Thank you. Thanks, Kay. Thanks for coming on. That was a definite shift in energy.
That was just a real interview. the dynamic. I love that kid, man.
No, he's a bit
awesome.
He really knows what he wants.
He does. I'm glad he addressed that party too. I don't know what was happening.
Yeah, because
something happened, like the stripper party.
Something happened. I'm gonna have to dig into his Instagram to figure out what's going on. But
definitely,
he's a fascinating cat. Raycon wireless earbuds, the best buds that you ever stick in your ear. You got a Raycon because it's the best. I want a Raycon in my chest. Anyways, Raycon earbuds. I got to tell you something. They're fucking great. They're affordable, and they fit right inside your tiny little ear holes. They are ergonomically designed to fit inside your ear and pump whatever audiobook, podcast, or your favorite album. What are you listening to? Listen to it on your Raycons. I got to tell you, using a pair of premium wireless earbuds, especially if you can get them for less than half the price of the other guys, is the way to go. And that's why I recommend a little something called wireless earbuds from Raycon. Listen. I'm going to say listen, and I hope you listen. I like to say listen. When you listen, you listen. I listen with Earcon. I listen. Listen, I like to listen when I listen. And when I say listen, I listen with Raycon. I like to go hiking. When I go hiking, I like to put a little something in my ear holes to keep me moving. I go listen to a podcast. I listen to some music. Usually it's a podcast because I'm immersed. I'm deep in it. Pop the Raycons in. Nice and sleek, black design Raycons. They ergonomically fit inside my ear. They have 6 hours of playtime. They have seamless Bluetooth pairing and more bass than a goddamn 808 kick drum stuck inside your butthole. A tiny, tiny, tiny compact design. And the thing about this compact, ergonomic, ear-shaped design is it isolates all the noise. And the Raycon earbuds are stylish and they're discreet. And there's no dangling wires or stems. Now, let me reiterate what I'm telling you. Wireless earpods. They go inside your ear. Earbuds. Wireless earbuds. They go inside your ear. Raycon's newest model, the Everyday E25 earbuds, are their best ones yet. With 6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth pairing, and more bass than an 808 kick drum stuck up your ass. More compact design and a noise-isolating fit. Raycon earbuds are stylish and discreet. No dangling wires or stems. The company was co-founded by a certain someone I like to call Ray J, who also co-founded the career of Kim K. And other celebrities like, I don't know, Snoop Dogg, Melissa Etheridge, Brandy, J.R. Smith, Mike Tyson, and Rich the Kid are wildly beyond obsessed with these products, which means they wake up and they Raycon. They Raycon at lunch. They put the Raycons in. They go for a swim. They put the Raycons in. They take a shit. Then they go home. They have dinner with their wives, and they go see their mistresses or their Mr. Mans or their Mr. Theys, and then they have sex with Raycons in a syncopated sexual orgy, all linked in together, having sex to the same song at the same time because all the celebrities know each other, and that's how they fuck. Give them a try. Raycon has a 45-day return-free policy, so you can make sure they're the pair of wireless earbuds for you. For a limited time, get 15% off your order. Buy Raycon.com/PTA. That's buyraycon.com/PTA for a special 15% discount on Raycon wireless earbuds. Be sure to check it out now while the big deal's running. Buy Raycon.com/PTA. That's Raycon.com/PTA. So so here's what I told you the whole story.
Yeah, you told me.
Okay.
I'll tell you about the second time I ever got socked in the face. You want to hear the story?
Yes.
All right, it's the first day of college, right? I'm living in the dorms, and I had already moved. I went to this school, Loyola University of New Orleans, which is right next to this school, Tulane, which is like a super rich kid. Like it's in the South, but it's not a Southern frat school.
Right.
It's more similar to like a Connecticut, upstate New York, New England, like Vineyard Vines, rich kid frat, Coke vibe.
Gotcha.
So they had this street Broadway that was all these frats. And me being from Seattle and like whatever background I had, I was like, all these kids are pussy.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I was like, all these kids, like I can walk into any party and demand my respect.
Yes.
Because the big homie certified me. I'm just like a kid.
Yes.
And then obviously, so I'm like with 5 dudes, right? And you know, ratios are a big issue at frat houses.
Right.
They don't want to have 5 dudes pull up, especially 5 freshmen dudes with no chicks because that goes against their policy. Yeah. And so we walk in there, we start taking beers out of the fridge, and they're like, "Hey, like, are you guys in this frat?" And I'm like, "Fuck you." We start talking mega shit. We're like, "You bitch ass fools think you can tell us what to do?" And all these bros are like, "Yeah, what do you mean, pussy? Go outside." And we're like, "Fuck you fools." And then before we know it, like we all just get our ass beat. And that's when I learned that squares can fight.
That's the motherfucking truth. I have learned that lesson so many times. Like I remember I would go to places with a chip on my shoulder because of where I grew up. Yeah. And thinking I was fucking hard as nails, right? And you just go somewhere and you're like, I'm going to this. Like I remember going to Orange County as a kid. Yeah. And being like, these fools don't know what the fuck is up. I've seen people get shot and killed and stabbed. Like I'm fucking, you know. Yeah. And I remember going down there and realizing that these dudes, because they're not shooting, stabbing, and killing each other, they fight each other every day. And they're just splitting each other's heads on the regular.
Like
just
Huntington Beach, like skinhead flip-flop guys?
Totally, those dudes. Yeah, I remember going down there and like, because I had a homie that is from there. What up, Ray? And I go down there around 16 and I go there and I'd be like, you know, like being like, I'm the streetwise kid from the city. You guys are some fucking hicks. And I go down there and these dudes are just mopping each other up. And I'd be like, I'm cool on that. Like this shit is wild.
For sure.
Like every dude in there had hands. Like there was no, you know what I mean? Like,
because those farm boys and those hick fools, they have like big ass hands.
As soon as you get into the country, the same thing with Hawaii. You ever been to Hawaii? Mm-mm. Yo, anytime you get around country folk, because Hawaii really is country, right? Yeah. It's just tropical. But as soon as you get around country folk or people that live like near the land, it's a different breed of human. They're like, it's not even like, because in LA, there'll be like a lot of shit talking, going back and forth and blah, 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 a lot of fucking posturing and peacocking. Yeah. Out there, it's just like, you're just getting lumped.
Yeah,
like,
people are just fighting. But no one's dying.
No.
You know, it's weird because like, it's hella true. Like in the city, you can't really get jumped if you're like certified or whatever. I mean, people just won't tee off on you in a place where you're good to go. Right. I mean, maybe some like gnarly ass 16-year-old kid with an underdeveloped like pea brain off like an ecstasy pill will like stab you for no reason. Right. You know, but it's like,
well, there's always the option here of getting like, you know, getting fucking shanked or shot and having a colostomy bag, like out in those places. You know what I'm saying? Like there's always, that can always happen. like when you see people fighting and shit, there's always that shit can pop up. So you're very wary
For sure.
before you step. But in other places where that's not really the go-to, these fools just be lumping each other up. Like it's just it's crazy. Like even Matty in Canada, like he just talks about like they like Matty in Canada, him and his brother got in a fight with cops, and like his brother like broke a cop's jaw, and they lived to talk about it because that's what they did.
I think it really is like a gun issue as well.
Yeah.
Like if you're in a city where there's guns, like somewhere in America, like LA, for example, like you know that if you start fighting someone, it could lead to your death. But if you're out in fucking Decatur, Georgia, with like a bunch of hicks or whatever, and you start fighting them, like no one's gonna pull out a gun and spray you with it. No one's gonna dump on you in like Arkansas, unless you're in like the hood. But I don't know. Same thing in Australia, bro. I did a semester abroad out there. Every night, million bar fights in downtown Melbourne.
I've heard that.
Dude, just going for it. And then they dap up after, usually like, oh, my bad cunt, like, you know.
Oh, mate, you fucking rash cunt. Like,
and like whoever won, it's like they dap. I haven't seen people fight and dap in the U.S. in a minute.
No. I heard in Australia there's a street where all the bars are. And I heard that they had to put in different pavement that was softer because so many people were getting knocked out and dying. Because they fight so much out there that motherfuckers just like getting teed off on, hitting their head, done.
I wonder what city that was, because Melbourne is kind of like the more like hipster, but it's also like lad, like chav, like TNs and like Adidas sweatsuits and like head tattoos, and they're hella into graffiti. It's the same weather as San Francisco,
right?
Whereas Sydney's like the same weather as LA.
Oh, okay.
And they got this lockout law now where bars have to close at midnight because of like noise complaints.
Oh, really?
It's super whack.
I've never been to Australia, but I hear it's like flying around the world to go to Orange County.
Yeah, I mean, I lived in like North Melbourne, which was hella sick.
You live there?
Yeah, for 6 months.
Oh,
honestly,
amazing.
it's probably not worth visiting for the airfare alone. But once you're there, you can just pop over to like Thailand or Vietnam. Hella cool.
Oh, yeah.
It's $400 to get from Sydney to like Saigon.
That's why Thailand's full of Aussies and shit.
Thailand's full of, but I think of Australians and Argentinians and white South Africans and Israelis. They're always everywhere at different hostels. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why. I think it's because like those are like they're kind of like rich islands. Yeah. Like if you think about white South Africa and you think about white Australia and then Argentina and like Israel, like they all have this sort of like privileged dot and like a sea of kind of like fucked up shit.
Right.
Like Australia used to be like Aboriginal like 100 years ago, and everything to its like north, like Papua New Guinea and Indonesia, is like very impoverished and super dense. So all these tourist cities, that's why I stopped traveling internationally a lot.
Really?
When I was 19 and 20, right after I got my graduation money, I blew hella bread going to like Amsterdam and Paris and Rome and Spain just to get wasted on the same beer in the same hostels with the same people.
Right. Right. You're seeing the same people everywhere.
It's because I think that, I don't know if it's like a conspiracy, but these travel agencies, they push people away from domestic travel and make them think like, oh, there's nothing to see out there. Don't go to Nebraska. You won't learn shit. Don't go to Texas.
Yeah.
Go to the streets of Seville, Spain, however you pronounce it. Like it's so beautiful.
Right.
But then fools come back, they fly LA to Barcelona. They come back like, damn, it's different out there.
Yeah.
There's no like reflection. It's just like, it's different.
It's different.
They report back being like, oh, they speak Spanish and the buildings are different.
Right.
And I'm like, damn, thanks for telling me that, because I couldn't have gone on Google Images and found out.
I did the same shit with the same people.
But yeah, that's why people are so blind about issues in the U.S. a lot in these coastal liberal cities. They don't spend enough time trying to go to like Middle America, and like talk to people. That's why our show has been tight, because I get to go to like Tulsa, Oklahoma, to a Trump rally and like have conversations with people who I didn't even know existed. Yeah. And then I realized that they're not so different from your average person. Right. They just have different levels of indoctrination.
That's exactly it. They got the different indoctrination. They got this package of indoctrination. We got the other package.
Yeah. Look at Portland. You think those people aren't indoctrinated?
Oh my God.
The whitest, most gentrified city in the country.
It's all so
the most radical.
Right. No, it's the shit that's happening on the left and the shit that's happening on the right is both so fucked. Yeah. The only thing that I know is fucked up is like, motherfuckers are getting slaughtered by cops. That's fucked up. Right. And like, there's a lot of injustice and there's a lot of institutionalized shit that's fucked up. Yes. Yeah. But all the other crazy, hyper leftist and hyper right politics, it's all like, and it's so divided right now. Like it's never been before. Yeah. And we've never been this divided maybe since like the Civil War. I don't know. Yeah. Like, it's crazy. But
my opinion about like the way things are divided is like, there is like the radical left. Yeah. But there's also a giant centrist left. Right. There's not really a centrist right. No. Like if you're a Trump supporter, like you're buying into all that shit. Like QAnon conspiracy theories about child trafficking is the mainstream of like the Trump Facebook sphere. Right. My grandpa, who used to be like a Mitt Romney era fiscal conservative, is now like thinks that Hillary Clinton is like shaving kids' faces off on the deep web.
Right. She's a lizard.
No, straight up.
Yeah.
Whereas like, that's what pisses me off. You know, like Trump always tweeting about like Antifa and stuff.
Yeah.
As if that is like the armed wing of the whole left. It's like, dude, most of the left has Joe Biden signs in their yard.
Yeah.
Like that's what the majority left looks like. Those people didn't even really protest, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They just want Trump out of office.
Yeah.
As if that's the only problem.
Right.
You know, like it's all about getting that Cheeto out of the White House.
Right.
Like he is just like, you get him out, systemic issues, they just all collapse. And everything's good to go. It's like step one, yeah, maybe, but I try not to get too political because like I don't like to do that thing where I'm like, I'm a centrist, I hear everybody out. Because certain perspectives do have more validity than others. But yeah, it is crazy on the left and right. Yeah. But I think that the right shit is more scary.
It's way more scary. Sure. And it's also, look, the thing with the right is like you're either a QAnon person who believes in lizard people and adrenochrome and child farms, or you're just straight up racist. Like you have two camps to be in. Like there is no like moderate version anymore, right? Right. But that's because of how we've been so fucking manipulated from reality TV to social media. Yeah. Like that's the bridge. Like it started with television, reality television to social media. Now we're just fucked. Yeah. And we're so easily manipulated and swayed. And like you have a generation of people that doesn't know how to deal with social media. Right. Who are being manipulated by like that shit's real. The Russian bots are real. Like they're putting so much information into people's faces. Like I've seen the documentaries and this shit. And like it's real. They're fucking swaying. Like they've been doing this shit like Cambridge. You see the Cambridge Analytica doc?
Is it about how Russia is like putting conspiracy theories on the internet?
Cambridge Analytica did it in like 3 or 4 other countries before they did it in more than that. They did like Latin American countries. They did it in just every other country except for UK and America, and they tried it out, and every time it worked. They used social media, they feed people information, and they did it with Trump this time.
Yeah, absolutely.
They hired Cambridge Analytica to do this shit, and it fucking works like gangbusters because we're so easily manipulated, we're so malleable, and we're so fucking dumb. Yeah, that we just like whatever's in front of our face, we believe. Right. No one wants to read anything. No one wants to, and I'm dumb too. Like I do this shit also.
Yeah, I find myself consuming a lot of fake news that are like maybe it's misleading news headlines or bullshit infographics that I'm like, fuck, I believe that for a second. Right. And it's crazy because like the other day I went on YouTube and just out of curiosity, I watched a bunch of right-wing talk shows. Right. And I was like, holy shit, if you listen to enough of this, like you start to feel like, oh, word, yeah. Like, because it's so like, it's such an echo chamber. Yes. If you get lost in these algorithms on Facebook or on YouTube, you start like having this like these parrots in your head.
1,000%.
And then all of a sudden you've like lost your perspective.
There's a thing on the Daily called The Rabbit Hole, which talks about that. And it basically says, if you start watching YouTube clips, the algorithm suggests other clips that like, if you watch anti-police clips, it starts suggesting more anti-police clips that keep pushing you further left. And if you watch pro-police clips, it starts suggesting more clips that push you more right. And it gets more radical. And it shows how this guy went from like watching things he became radicalized to the right because just from YouTube algorithm shit. Like it's because the technology, we can't, our stupid fucking brains that just want to eat and fuck can't handle this. Like we're plugged into something that we have no concept of how to control, and it's fucking us. Like it's like, look, I live by social media. Like we live in there. I live in that world, but it's fucked. Yeah. And it's not good. Like
and these algorithms, they know who you are. Not to get on some crazy heady like surveillance state shit, but like they know that I'm like a Seattle kid who grew up around anti-police protesting. Yeah. Like they know that I'm from Capitol Hill. They know that I was at the Capitol Hill Occupy protest. They know I have, and they also know that I've spent time at Trump rallies in the middle America trying to listen to people and stuff like that. Right. So I go on YouTube and it's this weird ass mix for me where it's just like outrage clips, like unarmed, man shot by the cops. Right. And then it's another one where it's just like what the liberal media isn't telling you. Like, right. It's terrifying, especially in Kenosha. I've never seen such insane media coverage. Right. Like the way, were you following that situation? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just the partisan media coverage was insane.
There was a moment when, I don't know, I can't speak on it. Like I'm not so informed on it, but I remember when the riots started, the first time there was riots, there was literally 17 people out there, and there was no one out there. And they were like protesting. It was like light protest. It wasn't a big deal. And there was like 17, 20, from what I saw, there was like 20 people protesting, and they brought out the illest tanks. And I'm like, these motherfuckers just need to use those tanks. Like, if they don't use the tanks, they don't get to buy more tanks. And they brought out these machines, like in Wisconsin, like who needs, Wisconsin doesn't need riot police. They create the fucking riots. Yeah. But again, I'm being manipulated too by the, I'm probably being manipulated by the left shit, right? Like, it's like, maybe that's not true. Like, you can easily, like, I understand how people get sucked into shit.
Yeah, like I was in Minneapolis for all the riots.
Right.
And basically in the immediate aftermath of the murder of George Floyd. I was in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Right? And while I'm there, I'm on my phone, and it's like, the fires are being started by cops.
Right. Oh, yeah.
I'm
the bricks.
But I'm watching that not happen.
You're watching that not happen.
Yeah. But I'm also watching the other side of shit, which is like, all these protesters are incredibly violent. Yeah. And almost everyone out there was being completely peaceful. Right. And I'm not even saying that I think that, like, we should be peaceful. Right. I'm not even saying, or not we protest. I'm not even saying that, like, that's the way to go. Yes. But I mean, I think about all the protests that happened before George Floyd, all the peaceful protests, you know, for Trayvon Martin, for Eric Garner. Yeah. And it just got swept under the rug. Right. It gets a little bit of coverage, but it's like peaceful marchers demonstrate, you know, Tucker Carlson does his little wrap up, and then everything kind of dissolves. Right. The outrage is contained. One Kohl's or one Target gets its windows broken. Right. A shitty corporation. Yeah. At a location that probably no one had ever been to. Yeah. And everyone's grandma is acting like they have had their, like, fucking pinky chopped off. Right. You know? So it's like, they ask the question of, oh, what is burning and rioting and looting supposed to prove? Right. And the answer is the fact that you're talking about it right now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's people ask so much of, why? Numerically, how is this going to benefit us? Right. It's like, think about why. Think about it. Try to have an emotional perspective on all of the unrest. Yeah. You know, what would cause someone to do that to their own community? Yeah. Is it because they're dumb? No. No. Think hard. Yeah. You know, like, have empathy for people who are making potentially life-ruining decisions.
Well, we also know as a society that if shit isn't, if people don't go up in arms and go crazy, it won't be addressed. Right. Same thing with Rodney King. Like, nothing would have happened if there wasn't riots. Right? Like, it's just, if everyone would have just been like business as usual, fine, then it would have just been like another thing. Right. So if people don't rise up and, like, you know, yeah, it's fucked up. I know it. But, like, it's also fucked up that, like, this shit keeps happening. It's not going to be addressed. Like, nothing gets addressed until shit gets broken. Right? Like, none of this, like, you know, you can say, like, there's all these things about defund the police. Like, no one, and the right takes defund the police as people saying there's not going to be cops. No one ever said that. The name defund the police is stupid because it gives people a handle to say this is dumb. So you go, defund the police. What about no cops? Who are you going to call when you get raped? It's like, no, that's not what they're saying.
Yeah, they always bring up the worst thing.
Right. They bring up the worst thing when it's like, no, it's just saying, give the police, here's the cops, and here's the fucking people that come clean up vomit, and here's the people that, you know, help you if you have a seizure, and, you know, whatever. Like, it's like it's compartmentalized the police. It's not defund the police. But
and a lot of people don't get how big the police budgets are.
I know. LAPD has like 5 helicopters. They're like, you barely need one.
And they still don't even respond to shootings in the hood.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, they have all this money to build these state-of-the-art facilities, but like in New Orleans, for example, the cops have a shitload of money. But if there's a shooting on the lower Ninth Ward, the response time is like 45 minutes. Whereas uptown, somewhere where there's more money in the zip code, it's like 45 seconds. So it's like, obviously, even the current level of funding is not being allocated correctly. So I think beyond taking away from some of, like, the military budgets that cops have, like, think smarter about where the money is going response-wise. Like, hold people accountable for, like, not holding down the whole community and over-policing areas.
Where do you think it comes from? If we know that if you get, you know, like, when I was a kid, my house got robbed in Venice. When Venice was a different place, the dude came the next day, and I was like, "Are you gonna take fingerprints?" He just, like, laughed, like it was like a joke. He didn't give a shit. And if I was Beverly Hills, he would have been there in fucking minutes. He would have, like, who do you think? Where does that order of importance come from? Do you know it inherently as a cop, or is there actually some guy at the head of the thing who goes, respond to this, don't respond to this? Because it's definitely there, right? This shit's there. And, you know, like, I read this thing on a post, obviously on the internet, about how cops were created in the 1800s, I believe, to, like, basically to keep people working. When people go on strike, they created the police to beat them up, to get them to go back to work. Like, it was, you know, cops were something that were created because cops don't prevent crime. They just come after and ask you who did it. But when has a cop ever stopped a crime from happening? It's never happened.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe if they just happen to be there, maybe if they're lucky.
I
They
mean,
don't stop crime.
it's very interesting because like I'm from Seattle.
Yeah.
You know, and I've gotten my house broken into.
Yeah.
And I called the cops once.
Yeah.
Me and my friend called the cops when we were in like I think 7th grade because some dude tried to like steal our jam box at a bus station.
Right.
I've dialed before.
Yeah.
They never got there. I have lost 3 friends to police violence who were unarmed.
Right.
You know, so it's like
Right.
it's hard for me to even like think about them stopping a crime in progress.
Right.
Because I see them in my head as like, and I think that's like some trauma is like when you lose someone in your community who you loved. I'm sure you've lost homies to police violence, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if anyone's been killed, but definitely been fucked up.
Well, just one in particular, like John T. Williams in Seattle. I don't know if you ever followed this. He was a native wood carver who used to kick it at this park in downtown where I used to buy weed and stuff back in the day. He would basically carve blocks of wood and sell pipes.
Right.
He kicked it at this park all the time. Super harmless dude. He was deaf in one ear. So he's deaf in one ear, walking around with headphones on Bourne Street in Seattle, twiddling like a block of wood with a pocket knife. And the cop says, drop the knife. Doesn't hear it. Dead like 7 seconds later. And this happened 2 blocks from my crib.
Right.
So that was the moment where I was 13. And before then, I didn't necessarily have any strong opinions about law enforcement.
Right.
But then I knew that like there's something wrong. And I don't go around saying, fuck cops, this and that. But I'm like, there's clearly something wrong.
Yeah.
There's
no,
a
the
line.
procedure's fucked up. Like the line from drop a knife to death is like there's 10 other things you could have done.
Right.
Like shoot the motherfucker with a net gun. I don't know. Like
Yeah.
it's just killing people.
Dude, he was like 55 years old, disabled, deaf, walking around. And then it's crazy because that's what I thought happened. And then the autopsy and stuff confirmed that he didn't even open the knife.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he just had the knife in his hand. He was about to.
I think also what I gather is when I see these cops, right, I think they're scared shitless. And I don't think that's a job for someone who's scared because when you're scared, you do dumb shit.
Oh, yeah. It was Officer Ian Burke, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Put that out there.
No charges.
No charges. Just let him go.
Yep.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
I just want to drop that in there before we get too off subject.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
Great time for another ad. Listen, Josh has a fantasy. His fantasy is that one day a wonderful, gorgeous Pog is going to settle down with him and grace the ends of his entire life with this big, juicy butt on his head and face and hands and just love him as he needs to be loved. And we all have fantasies, and some of those fantasies revolve around fantasy sports. And, I'm going to talk about a company I like to call DraftKings because that's the name of the company. And it sure was nice seeing the teams back out on the gridiron over the PTA. Lucky for us, that was just week 1. There was no better place to get in on all the action than with DraftKings, the leader in one-day fantasy sports. To add this week's excitement, DraftKings has millions of dollars in total prizes up for grabs. Millions! If you haven't tried DraftKings yet, head to the App Store now because you don't want to miss this. Draft your lineup now and feel the sweat like never before. Every run, pass, and catch means more with DraftKings. It's simple. Just pick your lineup, stay under the salary cap, and see how your team stacks up against the competition. Nothing adds to the excitement of watching the game quite like having a shot at millions of dollars in prizes. DraftKings has paid out billions of dollars to winners since 2012, so they know a thing or two about cold, hard, erect, throbbing cash. Download the DraftKings app now and use code PTA. For a limited time, new users can get a free shot at millions of dollars in prizes this week. Don't miss out on the week 2 action. Enter code PTA to get a free shot at millions of dollars in prizes with your first deposit. That's code PTA only at DraftKings. Make it rain. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details. Remember, DraftKings.com. Enter code PTA for a free shot at millions of dollars in prizes with your first deposit. Hell yeah.
Back to it.
Back to it.
So I was saying one of the things I want to do, bro, is like I want to do this. Like I want to start like a really sick podcast. You know, like we got a crazy like lineup already going.
Sorry.
You know what I'm saying? Like I want you guys to go on.
Let's do that again. I just yawned in the middle of your thing because
no, it's cool. What I'm saying is like I really want to get a sick ass podcast going.
I mean, I think for you to do a podcast is. Have you started your podcast?
No, but in your opinion, like, do you think I have the ability to like lead a podcast? Like, is that you think I can do it?
Yeah.
I just don't. You do it. Like, I don't know. I just like don't want to.
No, we have a different style.
Yeah.
I'm just like blah blah blah. I just woof a lot of shit.
But do you think people will like my shit? Like,
yeah, your shit translates.
Okay,
Look,
word.
The way you talk to people, your skill at letting people talk is amazing. I watch you. I'm a fan of your shit. I watch it, and the way even at the photo shoot, at the commercial shoot we did, the Born and Raised thing, there was the film and the photo shoot, but in the photo shoot part, you just pop yourself in this crew full of kids, and they're all talking shit, and there's something about the way you let them breathe that makes them just keep talking.
Yeah.
And I have a clip I'm going to post on my stories of them just like, where are you from? What part of Compton's the best? And you're like, I don't know, this part. Crenshaw?
Crenshaw, that's the one street that I know.
Yeah, you're like Crenshaw. They're like, Crenshaw. But like, there's something about you that makes people excited to talk to you. And I don't know what the fuck it is. Some je ne sais quoi shit. I don't know, but it works.
Yeah. I just like, my worry is like, I want to talk more on the podcast. Like, am I good at talking? Do I say shit that makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay, work. I don't know, because I'm used to not saying shit.
Oh yeah, I understand. You're being serious. Oh okay, I thought you were like.
No, I'm being serious.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Oh okay.
Like, I'm not gonna do the podcast the same way that I do the show.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll obviously let people talk. I'm still gonna interview them, but I want to like say stuff here and there.
No, you're great. You've been talking about yourself this whole time.
No, but I'm saying like, am I like speaking good and shit?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right,
no, you're very.
Yeah, cool.
You're very good at speaking.
All right, I'll check it out because you just never know.
Nah, you're gonna crush it. It's gonna be great.
I want to do a mix of like underground legends like you and Sponto.
Yeah.
And then like full blown like strange celebrities.
That would be sick.
Like Denzel Washington.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Followed by Neckface.
Yes.
You know, fools be like, what? Because then you can kind of like put on like your homies.
Yes.
By reeling in the mainstream. Like I want to boss everybody up.
And that's the other thing is that's the dream of every podcast is to have mainstream guests.
Right.
Like if we had anyone that was like at all an actual celebrity by any means, we would be shitting our pants.
Right.
Like even when we've had people like we had Eric Andre on, and like I'm a big fan of that dude, and I'm like, this is fire. We have Eric Andre on, like it's just like, oh shit. But the funny thing is, when you have, it's really I think like the underground people that really bring the shit in because they really can talk. They don't have anything to lose. You know, we'll talk about.
You should
shit.
link me with Mans.
Oh yeah, I'll throw it out there for sure. That makes complete sense.
He's a big fan too. It's just like.
Yeah, I'll tell Matty to set it up.
Yeah, that'll be tight.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, guess who I'm getting on?
Who?
YBN Namir.
No.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Is he gonna do it in the flesh?
Yeah, I was just talking to him.
No shit.
While you're doing the ad. Yeah, he was like, "Yo, I want to go on the podcast." I was like,
that's so far.
Fuck, it's so funny.
What did you tell BG Perico to come on?
I DM'd him. He didn't see it.
Oh, but were you talking about it on set?
Yeah, he's down.
He's down.
Me and him talked for a long time. We're having a great ass conversation.
You guys are down. He was like perched on top of the weight bench. And you just had the mic, and every time I walked past, he'd be like, the thing is, like
we were seriously getting into it.
Yeah,
about all types of shit.
That was cool.
Prison.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's sick. How about that tattoo on his torso?
Gnarly.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's a crazy tattoo.
Looks good.
Yeah. I've never seen anyone do it that big. It's crazy.
It says BG. It's like a baby gangster, right?
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah,
it's huge.
Big.
I mean, I think that it just like it's a natural progression for you to.
I want to get Sacha Baron Cohen on hella bad.
That'd be
trying to lock that down right now.
I hear that he's back out doing another Borat or something.
That's the Who Is America season.
Oh, Who Is America?
I'm assuming because I saw a video from Olympia of him crashing one of those right-wing anti-masker rallies.
Oh, God, he's so good.
Do you know what he did?
Huh.
He went up there and he was singing this crazy like mask song about like chopping up Hillary Clinton like the Saudis do to journalists. He was like, chop them up like the Saudis do. Fuck the Wuhan flu. Singing in like this fat suit. And I guess people caught on to the fact that he was Sacha Baron Cohen, Borat, whatever. So they're like, get the fuck out of here. They rushed the stage, try to pull all the cords out of the PA system. He calls an ambulance, jumps into an ambulance. They're chasing his ambulance down. He's like in the back of it, like, huddled with paramedics covering for him. He comes back in a full disguise with like a beard and like I think it was one of those like Proud Boy Fred Perry polos. And he starts interviewing people about himself being there. He was like, how'd you feel about that left-wing guy coming in? And they were like, I think he's a fucking piece of shit, whatever.
Fuck. He's the master, right?
Yeah, he's definitely like I guess he's the reason I'm indirectly doing what I'm doing. In little ways, like the suit choices. I always think about the way that Sacha Baron Cohen influences like my style. He's obviously more of a troll than me. I don't trick anybody.
Right.
But
it's funny because there's a couple linchpin comedian / I wouldn't call him a comedian, but whatever he is, like these figures.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of these people that are so buried into like my consciousness, like it's like what Tim and Eric do. Sacha Baron Cohen, Eric Andre is an offshoot. Like he's an offshoot, I feel like, of that whole thing.
Yeah.
In a way, like I'm not denigrating what he does, but it feels like it comes from that world.
Yeah.
And these people are like linchpins for like the exact way I view. Like they dictate how I view everything. Being funny or not, like they're like the grail. Like these guys and a few stand-up comics are like the grail of comedy for me. It's just I don't know, when you can be funny, weird, and political at the same time, and also like you're obviously brilliant. Like it's mind blowing. Like it's it's like music. Like it's like when you have an album and you can't stop playing and it does something to your brain.
Yeah.
And something magic is happening where you're like getting excited. Like that's how I feel about these people.
That's how I feel about Black Cray.
Black Craig?
Black Cray.
Who's that?
He's like a Richmond, Virginia rapper.
I don't know Black Craig.
Sick Boy Rari.
No.
He just is like a shadow figure, but he's just like the style and sound inspiration to like all the new generation shit, in my opinion. Like you should check it out. He just never popped individually, but like Uzi, all that shit. It's just Black Cray, bro.
Black Cray, I'm gonna check it out.
Just fucking.
There was this crew that Lee from Lee Spielman.
I actually never met him, but I saw him on Melrose the other day. I was thinking
you guys would know each other. You guys would hit it off.
Yeah. I want to get him on the podcast.
Oh yeah, that's no brainer.
That sounds kind of fun.
He put me onto these guys called what is the name of their? It's like a bunch of these white dudes in the sticks, and they're called Dark Wave or Dark something.
Dark World.
Dark World.
Massachusetts.
Yo, Dark World?
Yeah.
I was on a Dark World kick. That shit is so fire.
It's crazy.
Like that fucking phlegm, what is it? Creme de la creme. All I smoke is creme de la creme. Like that shit, like
those kids like rapping Western Mass.
Right.
Like,
and they're just like wildly doing their own thing in the middle of the sticks. And like they just created their own little universe. And it's like it's kind of sick that it didn't pop because it could have popped, but it didn't. But
I've been making music too, low key.
You have?
Me and Kenny Beats been in the studio.
Oh, dude. What are you rapping or are you making?
Yeah, I used to rap heavy. I'm more singing. I just go in and sing my heart out about things that are on my mind.
Right.
And he mixes them and we speed them up, Florida style.
No shit.
Yeah.
How's it coming?
You want to hear it real quick?
Hell yeah.
I'll play you 15 seconds.
A debut?
I'll play you 15 seconds. This is No Jumper.
That was one of my first things I did too as a kid. I used to rap.
All right, check it out. I'll play it.
That's you? What?
That's all.
Wait. It's like
that's all I'm gonna do.
Whoa, hold on. It sounds like a 645 AR kind of that like crazy high pitch.
Yeah. Inspiration.
Is that the new wave? Is that the fucking new? Is it just like?
Well, that's the dude who's like.
Yeah.
I just like sped up shit because we spent a lot of time in Florida,
right?
And we go to these parties and shit in Central Florida and Daytona Beach.
Yeah,
everything they slap is sped up and fast pitched. So these dudes like 954 fast music, like DJ Frisco and a couple of these fools.
Right.
So we're not trying to appropriate what they're doing, but we're trying to like have our own music, but like we're gonna start regular and like speed it up, like they used to do with Chopped and Screwed, but reversed.
That's what it is. Everything's getting faster now instead of slower.
Yeah, because that's the frequency of these times.
It's so crazy the way music moves, the way it evolves.
Yeah.
You definitely get to an age where if you don't pay attention, you just lose track of all of it.
Facts.
Like you just don't know what's going on. You're like, what the fuck? I remember this dude Darius at my office put me on to 645 AR. He's like, this is about to be the new shit. And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, this dude sounds crazy. It sounds like he's smoking helium. And sure enough, like it just became a wave, you know?
Yeah.
And like people are like, you're either on the wave or you just don't get it and you're an angry dude who's still mad at like skinny pants and shit. You know
it's hella funny how they still think skinny pants are like a thing.
Yeah.
Like hip hop heads.
Yeah.
They're frozen in time.
Frozen in time.
Especially the ones in the Yankees has.
Yeah. It's frozen. Like they're still angry. You're like, fool, it's gone so far past that.
Right.
Like we're like transsexual cyborgs now. It's not even like like hip hop has just transcended everything.
Like that fool Ebro.
Yeah.
And like Joe Budden, those kind of guys.
Yeah, Joe Budden. He's like so salty.
You seen the Joe Budden Lil Yachty interview?
Yes.
Where Lil Yachty's like, chill.
Yeah. He starts talking about his paperwork and shit, about your contracts. And he's like, Lil Yachty's like, fool, I don't give a fuck. I'm rich.
Lil Yachty fucks with our videos heavy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You gonna get him on?
He's out in Atlanta, so I mean, maybe if he's out here.
You won't Zoom people in, huh? You gotta do it in the flesh.
I mean, no, I don't want to Zoom anybody in.
Right. Yeah.
It just sounds a little bit too like non-human.
Yeah.
It was cool with us because we already had mutuals, but like Zooming Lil Yachty, it just kind of feels weird.
It ain't right.
You know, like, hey man, big fan. Like, I'd rather just be like, hey bro.
But you'll be able to hit the road anyways. You'll be in the RV and you can podcast and interview.
Yeah,
right?
but bro, I've been sleeping until 6 p.m. I've been living like I've never been able to.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Because I was sleeping 6 hours a night, being waken up by highway traffic, drinking 6 coffees a day on the road in 100-degree heat for an entire year. Now I got AC and a California King Casper mattress.
Right.
And I've been sleeping until 5. Fools try to wake me up, call me, nothing.
You're just making up for lost time.
I moved here 5 days ago, so I don't know what I'm doing. But I've just been hibernating like crazy.
Right.
Like I slept from like 8 p.m. to like 12.
I gotta put you up on some spots you might like to eat.
Bro, I don't know where to go.
You want some? I'm gonna put you up on the spots that I can't eat no more.
Why? Because you're on your healthy shit?
Yeah, because I'm just too fat, man. But like if you should check out Kyo-chan. in Koreatown. You like wings?
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
it's
Korean wings.
it's
Especially.
Korean wings,
Yeah.
and they got this honey wing thing. It's so fire. Kyochon, like you just get these little buckets. It's just like a little
Yeah.
dipping sauce. It'll blow your mind.
That
There's
sounds
so
sick.
yeah, there's so many cool spots. Like if you want to ball out and spend a lot of money, I went to Parks Barbecue, Korean barbecue on Vermont. That shit is fucking flames.
Word. Oh, I
So
know
good.
what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've just been taco trucking it since I got here because it's
Oh,
the
yeah.
easiest and fastest.
Easy
Also,
and
the
fast.
Uber Eats, like Panda Express, like dumb shit like
All
that.
day.
I need to upgrade my consumer lifestyle. I already spent hella money on plants and cactuses. I got a fish tank, bro.
That's a wise
I have a
investment.
bed frame and a rug and all this shit, a desk and iMac.
Doing the real thing. You're being
I'm
a real,
trying
a
to,
real
but
human.
my house still looks shitty because I don't
Yeah.
know what to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you should invest in some art, man. Get some art. You know people that make art.
Yeah, I know some people who make art.
You know some people that
Yeah,
make
the
art.
IKEA in Burbank just didn't have enough art for me.
Nah.
You know the one where it's like London, but the only thing it's black and white, but
Yeah.
the red bus has colored in.
Fucking shoot me. I hate
That
when I
was
go in
so-
someone's bathroom. When you go in someone's bathroom and it's like a replica of like a fucking Chagall print or some shit. You're like, just get anything but
I
this.
know, especially on like Tinder dates. You know, when you
Yeah.
think it's going good because they got like the NYU like Bushwick shit going on.
Yeah.
You go to their crib and there's like some gnarly, terrible art.
Yeah.
You're like fuck, or a tapestry. You ever been on a date with a cool ass girl? You go home, you see a tapestry and a dream catcher.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude, that is the worst feeling in the world. Because
Yeah.
you know they were like a wook who got converted.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
by some kind of tattooer boyfriend.
Right.
And you're like, shit,
Right.
here I am again.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I mean, people just be normal. I mean, they don't. And I think there's things that we might catch
Yeah.
that other people just are like, that's fine. Like this is fine for now. We'll just put this here. Like you
Yeah.
got to put something up there. So why not a live, laugh, love banner and fucking picture of a feral coyote howling at the moon? I
Or
don't
what
know.
if I did like some post cool shit and I just got all the IKEA art, like 15 canvases, and just decked out
just
a wall.
deck the whole house, but one overboard?
Yeah, crazy.
Right.
You know, everywhere you go,
That's pretty
it's like
funny.
life is good canvases.
It'd all be license free too. You could just shoot the fuck out.
Who
of
should
it.
I cop art from though, for real? Like Mario.
That's like Mario. I've been all day for sure.
Fucking,
Mario.
who else?
Definitely get one from Mario. I mean, hit up that dude. That dude's fucking fire.
Oh, I already have a painting.
You do?
Oh, fuck. My bad. You blew
Oh,
that out,
you
right?
blew him out.
Oh, I already have an Andrew Barnes painting.
Andrew Barnes.
Yeah, because it's actually a nude painting of myself on the
No.
beach in Miami.
No.
We're supposed to have a first episode of All Gas No Breaks. We're trying to make this fake origin story of me being an alien who woke up naked on the beach in Miami, who had like washed into the shore after being dropped from like a UFO and was gonna go explore the country for himself and like figure out where he was. We just dropped all the conceptual myth bullshit and just went right into doing interviews.
Right.
So, but we still have this opening sequence to where I wake up on the beach naked and Andrew's like painting me naked.
No.
Yeah. And so it's the first scene. I still have the footage. I could probably give it to you for this podcast.
Oh, let's drop it. Let's
But-
drop it in the podcast.
Fucking yeah, that shit was hella funny. So I just have this nude painting with no context,
That's so sick.
but
That's
I
pretty
put a
dope.
have a good time sticker over the dick because
I mean, it's kind of a flex if someone comes over and they're like, there it is. Like this is what you're
yeah,
gonna get.
it's a weird flex though.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's a flex if they're like funny,
Yeah.
but if you're trying to like have someone over,
Right.
who
You might
want
get canceled.
for having a nude painting of
Yeah,
yourself,
yeah.
or more just be like that dude has a nude painting of himself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's really a gauge on how cool someone might be.
Yeah, like what's that? What's Big Poppy from the Red Sox?
Oh yeah.
He has that canvas that's 40 feet long of the Last Supper, but he's Jesus.
That's amazing. I love
That's
that.
funny.
I love that.
My shit's not as funny, but I want to get some sick art. Maybe I'll have Nick like blast a fill in on somewhere. No, I shouldn't have anyone do graffiti inside my house.
Not in the house because that gets tired and it looks fucking. After a while, you're like, what the fuck?
You ever had fools bust in your house?
I had a house like that. Yeah, I had my first apartment. There was graffiti all over the place. Like I painted one. I was like, this is gonna be great. It's like a dream. Like I remember my first apartment I had. Basically, I was like, my dream was to have beanbag chairs, and I had 5 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to have a 6-foot bong, and I got that. And I wanted to have graffiti in my bedroom, and I did that in my first place. And it was disgusting.
Who'd you let bust on your walls, bro?
I mean, I did it first. It was
Okay.
whack as fuck. And I painted the whole inside of the bedroom. Just
Like you did a fill in?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I did like a full burner, just like, so like I slept on a futon.
Yeah.
It was like I had a carpet. It was disgusting. Like it was just like bong water and fucking. My only thing that I really cared about my prized possession was I had tapes. I had cassette tapes. I had 400 cassette tapes, and people was always think people could steal tapes or borrow them, and I still have the tapes too.
Word.
But anyways, you like Vegas for the. Why do you
don't
like
know.
Vegas?
I don't know, bro. It's just where I feel at home, It's
Yeah.
fucked up, Like the desert where everyone's getting their demons out.
Yeah.
And it's just like this pride vision. And then the people who live there, it's kind of like the same reason that like a lot of black people from South Central moved to Lancaster and Palmdale.
Right.
You know, because they wanted to like cash in on like large amounts of space.
Right.
Kind of grew up jam packed into public housing. Same idea, but that happens in Vegas with people from Arizona. Basically, you can buy a large house out there that they build in these subdivisions for like super cheap. Same thing as an apartment in like South Central. You know, it's pretty much like hooded prices for
what's
an
cheap?
apartment.
What do you think? Like
$150,000
for a house?
for a giant house with a pool that looks like it's in Beverly Hills.
Right.
But there's
But it's in
500 of them
Vegas.
stacked up.
Right.
So there's a lot of people out there who just like have been working hella hard for years. Like my homie Thray
Yeah.
from Pomona, like from the projects, worked his ass off his whole life, and then like was able to get a sick ass crib in Vegas. And it's all about space for people. So it's a mix of this like toxic, insane, wound up gambling culture, and also this like square footage culture that comes from poverty, which people don't talk about when they think about Vegas.
Yeah.
But Vegas is literally like struggling people who go to like who have worked hella hard, go to the most barren, desolate ecosystem in the country and just have a giant spot where they can just lounge out and like understand what it's like to have like a huge amount of space. That's what I like about Vegas. It's hella interesting.
I mean, I could never, but I get it.
There's so many different layers. That's where all gas started. The show started in Nevada. It was a Nevada show for the first 4 months. We did Burning Man, raid of Area 51, and then like a bunch of Vegas street coverage. That's where you seen those Mr. Daddy interviews.
Mr. Daddy, yeah.
So I just want to go back. You know.
So Vegas got the people that you want to interview.
Vegas is just it's just interesting, bro. Like,
but do you partake in any of the shit like gambling? Do you play cards? You don't go in the casinos?
I go inside the casinos.
You still get COVID tested all the time?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I have antibodies. So.
You do? You had it?
Yeah.
You had it and you beat it?
I've had COVID, yeah, for sure.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I got an antibody test and I have it. So I didn't know when I had COVID.
You probably just ran right through it, huh?
I ran through it. I was asymptomatic and I got tested and it was negative, but it said I had the antibodies. And I was like, fuck, when did I have COVID? But then when it comes down to it, I'm the most exposed person in the country.
You're the most exposed dude. Like, there's no chance that you didn't get it.
No chance.
I remember when we talked about you coming on, and I'm like, is he going to be in my house? Like, I'm fucking scared. But now I'm like, whatever. We are a fucking photo shoot all day.
Yeah. Also, that photo shoot was so sick, man. Who are how do you source a lot of those kids? They're homies here?
Yeah, they're like Sponto reaches out to people. Like, he stays connected with all these kids. And they're all local kids. Like, they're all exactly what they look like. You know, like there's no models.
Streets, huh?
Oh yeah, Sponto's he's dug in for sure.
Yeah.
And like it's just all kids like from around the city who fucking born and raised who also are what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Like we've never used a model. Like we've never paid a model. It's just like, yo, you guys want to pull up? Cool, and we hook them up the best we can whenever we can. But like contrary to how like we had a steady cam and a whole film crew, but like every dollar went into making that thing look good.
Yeah.
And like every dollar we have is spent like we spend all the money on the production. So like I try to get professional crews because I shoot like commercials and other things outside of Born and Raised with like real crews. And I go, hey, will you guys come do me a favor?
Yeah.
And they do it, and it's brutal, but it's actually you get really cool stuff coming out of it.
Definitely. So Sponto's style, he rocks like the slick back. I've only really seen that like old heads in like the Mission in SF. Like, is that some Venice shit? Like he has that just kind of like Italian pompadour like swag going on.
I don't know if it's a Venice thing, but it's definitely like definitely an old school cholo thing, but that's not why he does it. He'll come out with the curlies once in a while. You know what I'm saying? Like
I like when
it
people like pull it all the way back.
Yeah,
it looks crazy because if you can pull it off without looking like you're in costume,
right?
In Echo Park, there's fools who dress like all not Big Lebowski, but like Italian mob style, like black beaters and like short shorts and Adidas, and they slick their shit back, and it's like, all right. I see
the cool thing about slicking your hair back is that you know exactly what you're getting. Right. Yeah. Like I don't know what my hair is doing right now, but I know if I slick it back, I know what's up.
I'd have a mullet straight up.
Yeah.
Yo, I should slick my shit back one of these days.
Hell yeah, get that shit straightened. You should get your hair straightened.
No fucking way.
Perm your hair on some like.
How long would that last for if I perm my shit?
A couple days probably.
Oh,
shit's really curly.
I'll get my shit permed like right now.
You should get. You should definitely get it permed.
I should get permed for the first episode of the podcast.
Yeah, that'd look wild.
Permed.
Have them perm it on the air. Have them perm it on the show.
Ooh,
you know what I'm saying?
Sick permer.
Yeah, has sick ass permer. Just get it laid.
Do you know one?
I'm sure I can find one.
Shit. Ask Sponto.
Sponto, I'll have him send over his permer. Well, it's been sick having you on.
Yeah.
Thanks for pulling up. Thanks for picking up the slack. Matty abandoned us.
No, it's chill. I'm just getting used to like this flow.
Yeah.
This is my first in-person podcast.
Really?
Yeah. Actually, I did Theo Von last week, but this is more like the casual content.
You did Theo Von?
Yeah.
Fire. He's funny.
Yeah, it was tight. Fools hate that co-host though.
Yeah.
Brendan
Schwab.
I mean, all of the comments on like it could be like me telling a funny ass story about like some road shit.
Yeah.
And every comment is like, damn, Like Brendan, this really flew over Brendan's head. Like, people are just going in on that fool. I know you get a little bit of that too.
I get that in a different way because
When you and Matty beef,
yeah,
no one thinks you're dumb.
Yeah.
Fools, when you and Matty beef,
Yeah.
hella fools like, think you're actually beefing.
well, they get really they protect him because I say things that Matty can't say, and if I say like, "Hey, Matty, you're fat" or something, then they all the people that are like it's just like this like very tender segment of people that are I don't know.
You guys are BFFs though, right?
Yeah, we love each other. Like we talk. Like the thing about the real truth of it, Matty. This is what people don't get, and like this is the joke to him. And I tell us that Matty is so much more brutal, but he does it all wrapped in a smile. Like Matty will say shit. Like Matty says shit to me where I've like questioned relationships where I'm like, maybe he's right. Like he'll just be like, your girlfriend's a piece of shit, and she's gonna fuck your friends. I'm like, what? What do you mean? Like
What?
Matty will hit you with just some wild shit.
Is he your best friend?
He's one of my closest friends.
So
Yeah.
your top 5.
Yeah. Who are they?
Yeah.
Fuck. You're putting a lot of pressure. I can't expose.
I'll tell you mine.
Who are your top 5?
Probably my homie Evan, homie Nick, homie Elliot, George. That's 4.
A lot of people give a lot of credence to your physical health, your body. Is your body sick? Are you congested? Do you have a virus from China? There's other things that can make you sick. You can have a sick mind. And there's nothing wrong with it. There's a lot of stigma from Americans, and not in the East Coast, but maybe more so on the West Coast, and definitely in the middle coast, the middle of America. We can't all go see our shrink. You can't go to your shrink's office and sit in her chaise lounge or her Eames chair and lay back and unburden yourself and talk about what your uncle did and what your dad didn't do and what your mom should have done and why your nieces are the way they are and what you did to the family dog and why you're obsessed with Pokemon. You got to get this shit off your chest. And I got to tell you that there's a way. Is something interfering with your happiness, or is it preventing you from achieving your goals? Well, yes, I've had a lot of things between me and my goals. Okay. As I like to say, a little catchphrase I coined is, you are your goals and you are also your goalie. No, listen, I'm actually, all bullshit aside, I'm a big proponent of mental health and taking care of one's brain. BetterHelp will assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist. You can start communicating in under 48 hours. That's 2 days, people. It's not a crisis line. It's not self-help. It is professional counseling done securely online. There's a broad range of expertise which may not be locally available in many areas. The service is available for clients worldwide. You can log into your account anytime and send a message to your counselor, a real live person, not a bot. You'll get timely and thoughtful responses. Plus, you can schedule weekly video or phone sessions so you won't ever have to sit in an uncomfortable waiting room as with traditional therapy. BetterHelp is committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches. BetterHelp, H-E-L-P, is committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches so they make it easy and free to change counselors if needed. It's more affordable than traditional offline counseling, and financial aid is available. BetterHelp wants you to start living a happier life today. Visit their website and read their testimonials that are posted daily. I'm going to read a few. Rachel is wonderful to work with through anything and is very pleasant and professional. That's Rachel, one of the counselors. Melissa has been great at understanding where my issues stem from and helping deconstruct some of the negative thought patterns in my head. She's very compassionate and kind, and I feel very secure and confiding in her. Visit betterhelp.com/PTA, that's better, H-E-L-P, and join the over 1 million people taking charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional. In fact, so many people have been using BetterHelp that they are recruiting additional counselors in all 50 states. Special offer for powerful Truth Angels listeners. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/PTA. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/PTA. Better, HELP.com/PTA for 10% off your first month. Goodbye. I always say, like, when my girlfriend's like, who's your best friend? I'm like, I'm too old to have a best friend.
Are you?
No, because I have my, look, the people that are my friends, my tight friends, they're such good friends of mine that I could never single any of them out. But there's some I see more than others. But at this age, most of the people around me, like I probably have 15 really good friends.
15, yeah.
I would say. Like good, like solid dudes and women. Like a lot of my friends are girls too, right? And like solid people that would be there for me if I needed that. And if I needed something, or if, like, would help me out in a pinch, and have helped me out in a pinch.
Yeah.
Have bailed me out of shit. Those are like my real friends. My other friends are like the people that the party friends, they're not really my friends. They're just like, they're homies, and I fuck with them, and I see them, I'm cool. But would I call them for anything? No, because for me to call someone for a favor, I gotta feel beyond comfortable because I don't like to ask for shit.
Definitely. And also, you've like grown probably out of teenage years and through adulthood with the same people. I bet there's certain fools who you maybe have known forever, but you're at a point where you're like, I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like,
sure, but then there's people. There's also people that I've known forever that I have a lot of love for. Yeah, like guys from my crew who like we don't talk every day, but we talk. We keep in touch. Like we DM each other, and I'm like, "What's up? How you doing?" Like the homeboy Alloy, he's from the crew, right? You know Alloy? Yeah. He's an old school AWR MSK guy. Like he's an electrician. Like he helped rewire my mom's condo in Long Beach. Like that's some homie shit.
Oh,
like we paid him to do it, but he helped do it, and he did it, and he got it done. Like. Does those kind of people, like he's a solid ass dude. He's
I guess what I'm saying is like it's cool that you've like had this like tight group of friends for so long.
Yeah,
you probably have hella game about like holding on to friends versus like letting them go. You know?
Yeah, I think it's important.
That's some shit I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, well, you're young. Yeah, and you're gonna also like a lot of people you're friends with now. You're not gonna be friends with later.
So what?
A couple will.
Last question is like, what do you think entails like longevity? Like as a dude who's had like pretty much the same squad for a while, like what are like the attributes that is like this fool is like down?
It depends what you're going through. If in my life I've gone from being a dude who was wild, who's out partying, who just wanted to be out fucking, doing all this weird shit all the time, to someone who's become the opposite. So like my life is very like, it's very like I like simple shit. Yeah, I like to go to the park. I like to go hike. I like to work out. Like I'm not out wilding all the time. Like I'm old. I'm not fucking around. So like as my priorities shift, who you're friends with shifts. So like as your life changes. And, you know, or it depends if like you have a girlfriend or not, if you're married or if you have kids, all that shit's going to change. You have kids, you're going to have a whole new set of friends. Like because you're going to be other parents. Yeah. Everyone I know that has kids, like I go hang out with the people with kids. It's a different group of people, you know, and like sometimes they hang in and you still stay friends with those people. Sometimes you don't. And like this just life shifts. Like there's guys I've been friends with my whole life. Like I have a friend that had a kid. I didn't see him for a couple of years. Yeah. Because I didn't want to go hang out with an infant and he was busy. You know, like it just wasn't my lifestyle. Like I wasn't at that time, I wasn't going to go sit there and hear a baby scream. It's just fucked up. When I have kids, if I do, then I'm going to be hanging out with a bunch of boring ass parents. Like it's just kind of like what's happening. And then there's a couple linchpins that stay there the whole time. They're just like your ride or dies and you always see eye to eye. But you also outgrow people too. You know?
Are your parent homies like connected to your like graffiti fashion world, or they're just like totally on some like random?
My who?
Your homies who also have kids. Is it like a totally new leaf that you turn? Because it happened to my aunt.
No, everybody had kids. Yeah. Like there was an explosion of kids at one point. Everyone I know had kids. Like a lot of guys in the crew had kids. You know, Revoke, Crush, all those guys, and like those guys, I spent a lot of time with those guys as a kid when I was a kid. But I'm not in touch with them as much anymore. Yeah. Because I'm off doing some other shit. But like we're homies. We're cool.
Your homies at Jason?
Yeah.
Sick.
I'm the same crew. We've been around.
What crew's that?
AWR MSK.
Really?
Yeah.
Sick. I didn't know, fool.
Yeah.
Damn, we're down.
What's up, dog? No, I mean.
Did you know Triggs?
Yeah, I know Triggs. You know GK?
I never met him.
Legendary dude. You got to come on. We're gonna do a graffiti roundtable.
Oh, we should. That'd be so funny.
Yeah, because Matty's been pushing me to do it, and I'm like,
Matty would be that one.
Yeah, he's like,
we just have all the graffiti fools around. Like,
yeah, and I think it's funny because graffiti writers aren't known for being like
verbally gifted.
Right, not all of them. Some of them are great at talking shit, but some of them ain't gonna say nothing. Yeah. So I want to cultivate a very weird squad.
Yeah, get some silent fools who are like, oh, I got 20 fills.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, I got a bunch of fill-ins, a bunch of Arcturus in the car. Get like a bunch of weird like silent soldiers. Yeah. And then with fools who like know of York, who are like, let me tell you about 1985. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. The raconteur shit talking graffiti writers.
Yeah, for sure. But you definitely get one silent like militant antisocial graffiti writer.
Yeah, some creep in a ski mask who says.
Who's like, you got to blur me out and change my voice stuff.
You got to disguise my voice.
Yeah,
the feds are after me.
I'm the hottest criminal on earth. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm on every block.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder, do you think we're gonna have to blur Sponto out?
Nah, man, he's good. It's just if we can get him on. I've tried to have him on this podcast a couple times, but he pulled out. He pulled out a couple times
because of the whole issue thing.
Yeah, just because like one time he just was like, he just gets on one, and like if he gets cranky, man, he's just all fucking pissed off and shit. Like, I don't want to do it.
We'll be able to figure it out.
He'll do it for you. I know he will.
Yeah, me and him had some really sick conversations too about like different native shit in the Black Hills, whatnot. Because I was just out there, he was hipping me to a bunch of different stuff.
Oh yeah. You know, I did a peyote ceremony with him and his dad.
We guys at Lone Pine or where at?
No, we were in Memphis. When Sponto got sick, when he got cancer, we had his father is a medicine man. I forget what they call him, wheelman or something. And the medicine man is under the proper tune. They call it a wheelman. And we did a peyote ceremony in the middle of Memphis, which is like the first part of the ceremony was building the fucking tent, which is like this 15-foot, carrying these giant poles, like building a real tent. And when you get inside the tent is the size of this living room. It's huge. And you build the tent all day, and then you get inside, and like you're in there for 12 hours. You have to sit in the same spot. And they pass around. It's like they pass around different forms, and one is just straight up buttons, like cut in half. The other is powder. The other is like a tea, and the other is like this mashed relish, and you eat all of it. And I go, how much do I eat? And they go, just keep eating it. And I ate so much of this shit until my body wouldn't even like, I just couldn't go in anymore.
Does it taste good?
No, it tastes horrible. It's the worst shit ever. The only thing that tasted anything, the only thing that was like at least palatable at all was the tea because it had water, but it's so bitter. And you took it, and you're in this tent, and this guy, Sponto's father, led the whole thing, and it was a tent full of people, and it was just like, it was crazy. It was intense. And like I remember this native dude there, and he was such a big human. Like you could tell like that he was a different breed. Like he was a different stock. Like he was gigantic, this cat. Like he just had huge hands. Like he was just, I don't know. And of course, I'm on all this medicine, and I'm watching this guy walk around, and his whole thing was he would shovel coals into the fire and then shovel the old coals out the thing and like look at you. And
does mescaline feel like acid or what?
No, it's peyote.
No, but that's the active chemical is mescaline, right?
Yeah. Well, mescaline is the chemical version of peyote.
Okay, cool. But it's different when you eat the cactus itself.
Yeah, it's a different thing. I've done mescaline too. Mescaline's very digital.
Okay.
It's like I did mescaline, and everything is like fragmented and just like it's like computer graphics. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like
so
very visual.
Peyote sounds awesome.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, it's like it's one of the ones that I would do.
Yeah.
Like I would do ayahuasca or peyote. I would never do like acid or some shit.
No, I've done a lot of acid. It sucks.
It's so fried.
It's fucked up.
And it makes fools like the same. You know what I'm saying?
What do you mean?
Like if you do too much acid, like they all end up on the same frequency. You
Right.
go to like these fried
festivals,
they all think they're onto something.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, if this was such an individualized experience,
Yeah.
why are you guys saying the exact same shit?
Right.
If this was this crazy individualized journey, wouldn't you guys all be like dressed different
Right.
and like saying different shit? They're all like vibration. Like,
Yeah.
You guys are fucking brain dead. I'm telling
Burnt.
you.
Just burnt.
Burnt, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I mean, nothing is worse than like meth burn.
Right.
But recipes can.
Meth is the most burnt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Meth is the most.
Is it smoke meth before?
I never smoked meth, but I did speed a couple times. I think it's the same thing pretty much. And it was so horrible that I did it like a couple times, and I did a lot of everything. I'm sober. I don't do shit no more. Right. And I did a lot of everything, and that was the one drug. There's a couple drugs I didn't do, and that was one of them where I was like, I cannot do this again because the come down was so crazy.
Yeah.
The come down was it was like the acid come down. Like the acid come down is horrifying. Like you're just covered. It's like there's dirt inside your fucking blood, and you're just covered in filmy sweat, and every noise in your house is like pinging and birds are chirping. This is my experience, and you just hate yourself. You're just like, why did I fucking take acid? And speed was the same way. You're just like, it's horrible. It's the worst come down.
Yeah, I was in a Pookie hot box when I was hitchhiking on I-5.
Yeah.
I got picked up in Reading.
Yeah.
And these boys were like, you smoke Scante, whatever. I was like, no. And they're like, is it cool? We smoke. And at the time, I just wanted to get out of Reading because it's the worst place in the world.
Right.
Or at least get to like Medford, Oregon.
Right.
And so they were like, yeah. All right, fuck it. So they roll up the windows and just burn through this whole fucking like 3/10 of broken windows. And I was just like,
they hotboxed.
I was so high, bro. I didn't even make it. I saw this 7-Eleven. I was like, fucking let me out of here. Went to 7-Eleven, got like 5 Steel Reserve tall boys.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm about to bum out. Kicked in with this like total fucking like leather faced tweaker for like 7 hours. We were just like fully immersed in these beers.
In the car or in the beer?
Oh, I was behind 7-Eleven with this fool.
Oh, you just like fuck it.
Yeah.
So you were hitchhiking.
I was hitchhiking. I used to do that a lot before I started making videos.
Fuck.
Reading is where I got scooped up. It's the first time. I didn't know you could get like high from a meth hot box.
Damn, that's crazy.
There's a lot of smoke. I mean, I probably wouldn't have been as high as like hitting a Pookie or whatever.
Nah, that would have
like,
blasted you off.
Right, but I still was high. Like,
Yeah.
There's definitely still some meth in my bloodstream, and it was not the one.
I saw a video of a dude taking either a speed or a crack hit and blowing it up another dude's ass. These homeless dudes.
They're both homeless?
Yeah.
Word. That makes it good.
Right. But like, I didn't know you could smoke with your butthole, which is, there's membranes in there that, you can put coke in there. So I guess you could put a cloud of...
You can do. What's that, boofing?
Boofing, yeah. You can boof.
You done?
Yeah, I boof some stuff.
Really?
I was like, I'm going to stick an E-pill up my ass, see what happens.
How'd it
Yeah.
work?
I don't know. I don't even remember if it even worked because I was also doing other shit too.
Was that the Fizz era? Were you
Yeah,
around?
I
Were
was
you active and around?
I was a Fizz
era?
lord.
Really?
No, that's an up north thing.
Oh, you
I
guys
didn't-
didn't do Fizz down here?
I don't even know what the Fizz. People talk about the Fizz face. I don't even know what that is.
The Fizz, man, the Bay and LA are really two different animals, though.
Yeah, the funny thing is that Seattle is more connected to the Bay than we are. It's
Bro,
crazy.
We get all of our shit from the Bay.
I know.
Hand styles,
I know it's crazy.
North Face Air Max fashion wave, like
Right.
I mean, that's like totally SF shit.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
even the skating, like, you know, they say that like even the Seattle hand style
Yeah.
came, you know, this is what Jesse Edwards said, because like, you know, WWL, like this full Vic 20,
Mhm.
like came and like brought all these like fonts and hand styles to Seattle in like '94.
Really.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, I'm not the historian on it, but I remember reading an interview about that, because like Seattle's old hand style didn't used to like connect, like
Right.
you know when Seattle fools do tags, like it's like a bus flow, like
Right.
your hand doesn't leave the surface,
Yeah.
but like if you look at old Seattle tags,
Yeah.
they weren't flowy like that.
Right.
Like this dude's Sober, was like this old school Seattle tagger. His tags look kind of like LA core.
Right.
Like they're pretty rigid and like flared.
Right.
And I saw that and I was like, damn, like our hand style really is like so Bay influenced.
You know what's crazy is Seattle as a kid was not because there wasn't access to stuff. All I knew about Seattle was from Mix-a-Lot, right? So, and I didn't even like in my mind, graffiti was New York and LA and maybe Philly.
Yeah.
That's like it. And as a kid, I was I was ignorant. And then I think like 15 years ago, I really started knowing more about Seattle and like BTM and like all this shit. Like I didn't know because I'd already pulled out of graffiti by then, but I started being educated by young homies who did graffiti. And like there's this whole thriving thing happening there that like I'm only being educated on. I'm still being educated on it. But a lot of people come out of Seattle. Like a lot of people I fuck with. You know Brendan?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I
yeah,
never
like
met him actually, but I talked to him much online.
I've never met him either, but we've had an online relationship for like years.
Who
And he's
does
just-
the simple illustrations?
yeah, he's just cool as fuck.
Yeah.
And we just chop it up, and it's like a very there's a very Oakland-ish patois with Seattle people. Right?
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Portland's got like a mix of like it's like they call it like hipster graffiti, but it's like anti-style, like orphan influence, like trashcore ass shit. Like the KWC. That's like my favorite kind of graffiti.
Right.
Like LA fools hate it.
Right.
Like
What is
New
that?
York fools. Like like Dipset and like Sage and like Fago and like all that like
I think so.
it's all just like this like super I don't know, it's like an anti-swag, but it still is kind of swaggy. Portland kids are just like geniuses. They're
Right.
graffiti geniuses. And they're hella fun. I actually like Portland right now more than any other city.
Really.
It's so cracking right now.
Really.
Portland is active, bro.
Right.
Seattle's fried right now.
Right.
The Bay is whatever.
Right.
No one even lives there anymore.
Right.
Portland is the one.
Huh.
Like that. Like what you were just talking about, the Seattle thing.
Yeah.
A lot of people live down there.
Huh. Portland's the one.
I fuck with Portland heavy. It's so fun, and especially now that the protests have been popping, there's just a lot of energy there.
Right.
The energy there is comparable to what Seattle's energy was like during CHOP.
Right.
You know, it's just buzzing. Portland's buzzing. You know,
Right.
Trump's tweeting about it.
Right.
You know, fools are like catching pills, but there's no cops, right? You know,
Trump's putting it on Portland right now.
Trump, bro. Whatever, bro. I'm going to Portland in 10 days.
Right.
There's something happening there.
Okay.
It's called I don't want to spoil it, but it's called the Patriots March Against Communist Terrorism. Oh, fuck. We've been following it on like a bunch of different pages on Facebook for like a couple weeks.
I saw that motorcade of Trump supporters flying into Portland.
This one
a few weeks ago.
This one is going to be really.
They're just looking for they're trying to have a little civil war, right? Like it's just crazy. They're like looking for it.
Well, you know what Patriot Prayer is, right?
Patriot Prayer?
Patriot Prayer was one of those groups heavily involved in Charlottesville.
If
I'm not mistaken, I think they just declared their headquarters in Portland, Oregon.
Really?
Yeah.
It's so
That's at least you know who Lance Bangs is?
Yeah.
He's been like our dog.
Oh,
He's been
really?
filming for us and shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You guys have Lance Bangs?
It's our boy.
Oh, that's insane.
He's part of the team.
No way.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
So he's been doing some field work for us up there. Not like filming, but just like he does his own shit. Just advice. Lance is a fucking genius.
He's a legend. Yeah.
Best dude.
Yeah.
He drove out to South Dakota to kick it with us.
Oh, dude.
He pulled up in the Tesla, bro. Lance is the dog.
Dude.
He's the big homie that came in right when we needed a big homie.
Oh, he's giving you guys like, yeah, he makes sense for you guys because he really is he's the real deal.
Truckloads of game.
Yeah. He's been everywhere. He knows.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
You met Lance before?
Yeah, like in passing through some friends. I had a buddy of mine that was like an art director for Spike Jones.
Yeah.
Back in the
That's
day.
Lance's boy, right?
Yeah, and like I'd see like I was hanging out with all of them and I'd see him around and talk, but I don't. He wouldn't recognize me from anybody, you know.
That's the boy.
Yeah.
All this shit's coming together, you know.
It's all coming together.
Yeah.
Kuna Matata, circle of life.
Circle of life.
You know what I mean? It's gonna be great, man. Your future's very bright.
Yeah.
Lance Banks, that's fucking tight.
Yeah, it's super tight. Came out of nowhere. I was on the front lines in Portland, like with my mic and like the feds' faces,
Right.
being like.
And he was shooting it.
He walks up to me with his camera. He's like, "Yo, Andrew, like, my name's Lance Banks. I'm a huge fan."
No way.
Yeah. And I was like,
Oh, it's just organic.
organic.
Sick.
And I was like, "You're Lance Banks?" And he was like, "Yeah." He's like, "What's next for you?" So I'm going to Sturgis for Bike Week. Fool goes, "All right, I'll see you out there."
No way.
I swear to God. Yeah.
He's
This
just another road fucking
weeks ago.
animal.
So I tell him I'm at Sturgis. He's like, "I'm on the way." Boom.
What?
Yeah, shit's crazy.
He's a beast. He just does it.
He's a legend.
Damn, that's crazy. That is fucking dope. See, there's people it's in their blood. Like they have to do it. He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to. He has to. You know what I mean? Like there's no need for him to do that, and he has to go do it. That
Because he
makes
knows.
sense? He knows.
He just gets on shit at the right time.
Yeah.
Because he's that cool.
Damn, that's
He's not one of those old fools. Because he's older, but you know, he's not one of those old fools who tries to be like hella young and like
yeah.
be like, "Oh, I know what's up." Like, he's like, "I'm an OG.
Yeah.
Like, I'll listen to you, listen to me." He's the man. You know?
Yeah.
And he'll get drinks with us.
Right.
But, like, none of it matters sober or not. But, like,
Yeah. No, he's a documentarian. He does what he does, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. So he's purely doing what the fuck he does, which is I find always admirable in anybody. When people are purists at what they do, like this is what I do. You know, like that's why I like what you do, because it's obvious that you're doing this. You're not trying to get a check. You will, and obviously it's great, but like that's not.
Check.
Yeah, you got the check, but like not because you're trying to get the check. You're just trying to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Like you weren't looking at this and be like, if I do this, then I'm going to make money here. Like, you know.
No, definitely not.
Which is like I've always worked opposite and been scared of not having money. Been like, well, I got to commodify this. Like the only thing I did was like when I did graffiti, I was like, I'm never gonna make money at this.
Yeah.
And then I remember just seeing like everyone around me being so fucked up, and like everyone around me, I was like, just didn't have enough. So I was like, I got scared, and I started being like, I got to make money, and I started commodifying everything I did.
Yeah.
And it's not always the right thing to do, because you do a lot of shit that you shouldn't do. You know
Yeah,
what
I
I'm
think Hale made a really good point about that interview that he did, where he was like, I put in so much work at this point that it's time for me to cash in.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter.
100%.
Anyone hating on me is out of their mind.
Eat a dick.
Yeah.
If you come on.
Okay, but to hate on Hale for doing a canvas, you know.
No, please. That's just people that are pissed that they, you know, anyone that's done what him and those guys have done should do whatever the fuck they can do to make some money, because they're lifers, right? This is it. Like
There's no turning back.
No.
It's for Jason too.
Same. He did it, and he's making money.
Bread.
Yeah, he's making bread, and
Baroque's selling art to the mayor, guys.
Yeah, he's doing good, and
he's killing it.
But he also is real. Like he's the real deal. There's, you know, he's like he was a real fucking thing on every level, right? So he's out there fucking, you know, like it's warranted.
You been out to Detroit?
No, I haven't been there yet. I want to go.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's all right.
I don't know. I've only been there during the pandemic.
Right.
And they're extra shut down.
Right.
As someone who's traveled to almost every like major U.S. city except New York, when I'm not supposed to.
Yeah.
Detroit had one of the most scared vibes.
Right.
Not sure why.
Right.
Like Chicago was fun. Detroit shut down. But there's this bar called Old Miami that's supposed to be pretty cool. I didn't think it was that cool. But,
so Detroit's off the list.
no, it's on the list. I just got to go back at the right time.
Right.
Yeah.
Sick.
It's also hella fucked, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm about to buy a car.
What are you gonna get?
I don't know, but I have this idea. Now that I'm in LA, I want to commit to doing this, right? Every week, I want to do at least one day in the desert, one day like in the mountains, and one day at the beach.
Oh yeah, that's the California thing.
No, I just want to like,
because you can hit all three.
I want to put my brain in different places.
Yeah.
I've already been feeling kind of stagnant, just living like around the area.
Right.
No,
Yeah. No,
dropped
Korea's
it.
funky as fuck.
No, it's cool. It's just like LA. If you don't have a car, you just end up lurking the exact same streets over. Like I've just been walking down one street that I live by like all the time.
Right.
I think I'm about to get a Subaru.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
That's culturally my car.
Right.
Yeah. Seattle dudes. Like,
yeah.
That
makes sense. I fuck with the Subaru, like a wagon or
yeah.
something.
That's like where I'm from is like the standard.
Right.
It's hella funny.
I drove Cadillacs for forever. I've had 3 of the same Cadillac, but when this pandemic hit, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get the most dependable, solid car I can get. I just got like a Toyota 4Runner. It's either that or Subaru. I was like, I'm just gonna get the most basic,
Yeah, it makes sense.
like undercover car.
Yeah,
You know, like fuck fashion
for
fuck
highway
everything.
spots.
Yeah, for highway spots.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come out of
But
retirement.
the last thing I'm gonna say is hella funny how like certain things that like are normal everywhere else, but you rock them in LA and it's like weird.
Right. Like
Like,
Subarus.
No. Just like I was thinking about like a Cadillac or like an Eldorado or something.
Right.
In LA, if I was driving it, it would just look like ridiculous.
If you were driving one.
Yeah, I
Right.
even feel that way about like Dickie shorts out here.
Right.
I just think there's certain stuff or like those like tan Ben Davis pullovers.
Oh, because it's so LA.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
like certain things are just so
Right,
LA
right,
that you could
right.
rock them somewhere else and it'd be
Right.
cool, but like here it's just like a statement.
It's like you're trying to do something.
That's actually I bought a Pro Club white tee the other day.
You're
And I
all
was
in your head
walking
about it.
around, I was like, I looked myself in the mirror of a passing car and I was like, no. Like,
Not gonna
it
work.
was like a double XL thick white tee that I got in Santee Alley. And I was like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep this moving.
Those Pro Clubs is like you're wearing 2 slabs of cardboard.
Right.
You know, with a
They're
fucking
thick.
with a toilet ring around your
The
neck.
headquarters is in Seattle. People don't know that.
Oh, really?
There's a small corporate campus that I found one time when I was like wasted walking around. It was like Pro Club's communications center. It's in like the most fried part of Seattle called South Lake Union.
Jesus Christ, who knew? And they keep all the swap meets alive out here.
Do they?
You got a lot of editing to do, huh? This has been great. Andrew Matheson did his thing. It's 4:30. I haven't had breakfast. Stupid. That's me though. Powerful Truth Angels Graffiti Podcast coming to you live. Eat a bag of dicks.
It's the first time I've ever talked about graffiti on the record. So.
You're out now.